the castle right now.
Well, this is how we we set up on the fly situation. We're finally doing a video in your shop though, so that's the thing.
Could have done it last time, but somebody dropped the ball.
Yeah, dude. Well, I did actually got everything set up to come on this trip, and I forgot bike straps.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't even looked to see if my trailer hitches in the back of my Jeep or not. So it could be a shit show, but we'll see. Adapt and overcome.
We have to hit no Riley's. You'll be fine.
Yeah. They got shitty straps though.
Yeah. Harbor Freight. I just have straps.
Yeah. Show up, pick up this dude's bike and all out build, and I'm showing up with some Harbor Freight, some Titan or whatever the hell it is, some Pittsburgh.
Some rental trailer. Be like, I'm a professional.
The worst is when they come with the actual yellow straps, like they were strapping out a tractor trailer.
Yeah,
He just scratches everything on the bike as you try to strap it down.
Yeah, 2-inch wide straps, and you're trying to strap down a bike.
And it's on the kickstand every time.
Just breaking shit. Mm-hmm. Suspension is compressed in the front.
Dude, I feel like more people's bikes get destroyed trailering them because they just don't think about like bikes bouncing up and down going down the road and just don't tie them down right, and then they fall over and hit shit than they do on the road.
Yeah, they fall in, or like they're enclosed trailers. They try to sardine them too much.
Yeah,
and they'll start rubbing each other and shit like that.
Like, you gotta remember they bounce back and forth like at least 4 inches.
Got to put couch cushions in them.
I don't think you need anything rubbing on.
Well, aside from that, or learn how to strap a bike down.
Yeah,
just ride it like a man, like an adult.
Yeah.
Are we live now?
I mean, we're rolling, I think.
Okay.
You gotta edit this out.
Nah, dude.
Hello.
Welcome to Movie Zone.
It's been a while. What?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I looked it up the other day. You said you were coming up here. I was like, shit, I think the last time you did a podcast was like February 2020.
On my way to Mama Tried, yeah.
4.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like right before Daytona.
It was the day that we were finishing our Music City Sport Chief build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you took some good photos. Mm-hmm. And that would have been right before Daytona.
Yeah. I was just finishing the Red Glide as the burrito.
For Daytona.
Yeah.
Yep.
We called it the incognito burrito.
That's when it blew up though, right?
Yeah. I redid the whole bike.
Wait, which time?
Yeah, we did the whole bike, and then we brought it down to Daytona, and I think it made about 268 miles in that full like redo. And that motor was the same motor throughout all the racing, other than the first race. I blew it up in between the first race and the second race on the street. And then when we were living down at Texas Performance, we built a nice little 127-inch, and that motor lasted all the racing and riding to Sturgis in between and all this and all that. And then I bring it down to Daytona and I blow it up down in Daytona.
I mean, to be fair, like you ride hard on the bikes, and I mean, the motors took a beating.
Oh yeah.
It's really, I mean, I'd say it was a test of like, these are good motors.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I wasn't mad at all. It had like 12,000 street miles on it, and
I mean,
15 races, 20 races.
Yeah.
All the races, but aside from all the races, October of 23, he raced Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I'm in the pits the whole time, making sure everything is good for him. And he's out on the banks. Mm-hmm. And he's like the guy on the buffalo. And he's pinned out and he's tucked down. And that thing it's pinned.
Yeah.
It will not go faster.
How does it feel like being on those banks?
You're pinned for, I don't know, an honest like 45, 50 seconds, like in like the long stretch, like at least it feels like. And you can't look like normally in front of you. Like you're riding down the road, you're looking, 50, 75 foot in front of you. On the banks, you can't look that, like you're looking 500 foot out. Because if you're going so fast, 140 plus miles an hour, like if you're looking only like 50 to 100 foot in front of you, like you're getting speed vision. Yeah. So it's like you're just tucked down and you're looking 500-600 foot in front of you, because you're like, whatever's in front of me, I've already seen it half a second ago. So
that would be gnarly. I wouldn't mind riding something on that, but it'd probably freak me out. I would overthink the whole situation before ever getting onto the, like, getting fast enough to go around it or whatever.
Yeah, dude, you chop off the throttle when you're on the banks, you drop to the bottom. You just, like, if you just that, it's just like your momentum's carrying so hard and you just ease up on the throttle and it's just, you kind of just fall right down.
You would be fine.
But that was like one thing with like racing is like, I never like tried to overthink tracks. Like some people would like watch videos and there wasn't always baggers and Harleys on the videos I was watching on the track. It'd be sport bike. Well, my bagger line wasn't always the same as what some guy could do on a sport bike. So I'd just be like, I'd look at like one of those top views and I'd be like, all right, cool. Like I see kind of how the track's laid out. And I was like, I'll just show up and figure it out. Yeah. I do better that way, than trying to sit there and overthink it.
Overthink it all.
We got to take our newest Indian out on the track in Daytona. It was on a parade lap.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're not going to mess around too much and like get kicked out of this thing. It was the opening for King of the Baggers. And by turn 2, everybody in the parade lap was like, all right, let's go. And so I was like, well, I'm not backing down to that. So I did get to hit the bank just a little bit. Now, we did not go up to the top. Absolutely not. Yeah. I got to go like, it's too extreme to hit. If you don't hit it before the entry, you can't.
So you don't go jump back on it.
No, it's literally, it's like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Like you can't
just 30 degrees.
You can't just enter it.
Yeah, I'm overthinking it now. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But once you're up, if you're carrying your speed, you're just ripping around it. You'd be fine. That's why I said you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But it was bizarre. And I only did one lap on that thing.
What was that thing you did up in the Clems that time? That like velodrome thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shit, that was like 2019. You had like a little anniversary party, and then it was like an old velodrome that's in Detroit. Yeah. Then it was so sketchy. It's like this old bicycle racetrack that's like banked, and then like one side was like pretty well straight out, but like the other side was like the concrete cracked and dropped. So in the middle of the corner, either you took the high line or you took the low line. Like you didn't switch over because it was like a 6 or 8 inch like concrete drop in the middle, so.
And the Indian you're talking about is is that the Sport Chief, the red one?
The red one, but that's a Power Plus Chieftain. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's this year's model of, long story short, the Challenger's been out for 5 years, and that's the competition to a Road Glide.
Yeah.
And so this new Power Plus Chieftain is the exact same thing as a Challenger, but it has a batwing fairing, so it's more of your street glide model.
Yeah.
And it's oddly familiar to a Challenger because everything's identical, but there's still something about a fairing that's moving with you.
Yeah.
And so that was the bike that we built for Daytona this year.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It's been a fun year on it,
Yeah, I got to ride that one and the Challenger.
On your trip to Vegas.
Yeah, when I went out to do that. So,
what did you think about the new Chieftain?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, I definitely felt more at home on the Challenger. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just more familiar with that, fixed fairing and that kind of bulkiness.
Yeah,
but fucking fast.
Yeah. Well, so same drivetrain for 5 years now. But it's even for me, it's been weird getting used to the fairing that's moving with you.
Yeah.
In many ways, it actually feels like it's a little more flickable because everything goes with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're pushing it so hard. For a small dude like myself, it's very easy to throw around. But I do notice a lot more wind with the batwing style fairing, more wind in my face. And I haven't fully fallen in love with it. It's been cool. We'll keep riding it next year and we'll see. But I think I got like 6,000 on it this year so far. So,
do you feel like you've been able to? I feel like this is the least amount of traveling on a motorcycle I've done in the last 5 years. I only did one trip this year.
How does it feel? Do you miss it?
It feels like something's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a part of the experience. Like I didn't get a chance to ride to Daytona this year because I ran out of time building that bike. So I took the opportunity to throw the bike on a trailer and get up there. Because I thought I was going to miss, not Daytona, Sturgis. Mm-hmm. And trailering up there takes away my enthusiasm to do anything. Because when I got up there, I was like, I don't know, when I'm traveling somewhere, like it's kind of like I'm out there. There is no option to throw it back on the trailer and go home.
Right.
Did
you find yourself driving the vehicle? in Sturgis rather
Well, I
than
mean, I
hopping on
just
the bike?
I threw the bike on someone else's trailer.
Oh, okay.
We got there and I was on the bike the whole time. But initially my plan was to go do an extended trip on the home, kind of like how we did a couple, 2020, whenever you met up with us in Colorado. Just something, just so I can get another good trip in.
Sure.
And the whole time I'm there, I'm just like kind of over it. I was defeated from not finishing the FXR. I felt like it was the first time I ever had a deadline that I didn't meet for myself. You know what I mean? A goal or whatever. And it kind of like just fucked with me a little bit in the head, you know? Like I had all these dreams of being here on the other bike.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar experience this year. Ended up saying, you know, I got that 24 Road Glide, which that one's reliable, awesome. Could have took that to Sturgis, but I was like, I want to take the burrito. Like, so I blew up my tan bike in Daytona, you know, and then sat all last year until right before Born Free. And I'm like, all right. And I just did a quick little rebuild on the motor. I threw new jugs and pistons at it, but I was like, there's some other damage in the motor that, you know, either it's going to last or it's not, you know, it's like, so I did that and ended up taking all on Born Free and it was good. And rode it a little bit earlier this year. I was like, I'm going to take it to Sturgis. I had a couple other little things I wanted to button up and ended up going on a little test ride. I made it, you know, 4 miles from the house. And I was like, it's good. I'm going to go get a new dyno tune on it because I had some changes with that motor. And then it blew up on that. And then we ended up throwing in a S&S 136.
Well, let's back up. So we're about a week out from heading out for Sturgis. And this is going to be a big trip. We're taking the whole crew. We got a house in Spearfish.
Yeah.
The whole team is going, the wives, the girlfriends. My son is going with.
Yeah.
This is going to be the year, right?
Yeah.
We have our forge build with Indian. Big year for Forever Rad. Let's blow it out of proportion, okay? So he goes to shake his bike down. He'll be fine. That thing's ready to roll. Nope. This dude calls me and he's like, well, think my bike blew up. And I'm like, what? No. So yeah, hooked up the trailer, went and picked him up. All right. So we got like, it was like a week, right?
It was 9 days.
9 days away from Sturgis, departing for Sturgis. And he's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he puts it on
I
his...
couldn't just go back to old reliable. You know, like I just have the bike.
He had it in his head.
Ready.
He's like, I got to take this bike. I got to take the race bike, right? So he puts it on his story. Hey, someone give me a crate motor and I'll get this thing swapped out and I'll still ride it to Sturgis. Right? Well, good old S Chamberlin 5150 right here.
Yeah. So Motool USA reached out and they said, all right, let's make it happen. Can you do it? So I was like, all right. And then talking, they're like, we have we're out of town or out of the country. We have no room for logistics of getting you a motor, but we'll get you a motor. And I was like, all right. And then, you know, Kyle, Forever Rad, foreverrad.com, you know, I was like, hey, you know, I was like, there's an S&S 136 in drag. And then it was like Monday, like most dealerships are closed. And I talked to one of our friends that runs parts department. He goes, yeah, Harley crate motors are like 36 days out or something like that. Like if you wanted a Harley 131. So like I messaged back and I'm like, hey, I can get a, you know, Harley crate motor in 36 days, you know, then we're not going to do Sturgis. Or there's an S&S 136 in stock and drag specialties. And then they're like, do whatever you want. And I was like, okay. So got the motor ordered. And then, you know, we're down in St. Louis, little South St. Louis. And they had it in stock up in Janesville, Wisconsin. So the next day I hopped in the truck, drove all the way up to Janesville, went picked it up from a little customer service pickup, brought it back. Then we ended up getting the motor ripped out. I think the next day got the new motor sitting back in it by that night.
Replaced all the hardware on it.
Yeah, replaced all the hardware to stainless. And then next day was just wrapping everything up. Little things. I got it started. So that's by like Thursday. And then was just chasing like a tiny little oil leak, you know, and I have aftermarket oil lines and whatever. And then messed with it Friday. And then I ended up taking it to get dyno tuned by like Saturday. I drove all the way out to Indianapolis. Jimmy from HPI dyno tuned it, came back. And then, yeah, just, a thrash fest. It was like 1,700 miles I drove in a car and all this and had it back running in like 7 days.
Don't you like that version of yourself? If you can just turn that switch on?
Oh, like when there's like a deadline to meet, like I'm not a person that likes to fail. Yeah. I'm like, I will do whatever. I'll make, whatever phone calls and put in the extra effort, drive through the middle of the night, and like just line shit up. And like, dude, on the way back from Janesville, I was like, oh shit, I know I have a leaky fork seal. And I was like, dealership's out. So like, I'm calling dealerships just off the highway, just like, hey, do you have this part number fork seal kit? And I called one of them. They're like, yeah, we got 10 in stock. I'm like, what? Like nobody has 10 fork seal kits in stock. And then like making sure I had, the primary gasket or whatever. There was something that, had to order that wasn't available. And I'm like, all right, cool. So like, as I'm doing, driving, I'm doing the homework and thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, this is how we're going to build it. This is everything I'm going to need. Obviously had to get oil coming and like mow tool and, got that all.
I've been wanting to try their stuff. They have I've always known of them, but more into the metric side of things, so much in the Harley or the V-twin market. So not that it's...
They're
I was going to say they're big into King of the Baggers this year. HPI I remember years ago, HPI was talking about their 300 V oil. Like, dude, the stuff's like green. It's like Mountain Dew green coming out of the bottle. And Jimmy from HPI like swears by it. Like when I went and got my bike tuned, like they had it on the shelf at HPI. And
Jimmy had us put it in the Mustard Road King with the new motor on the old Mustard bike too. So Motul is trying to tap into the American V-twin side of things. And so they know that just getting a display in a Harley dealership is really all it takes. Look at what happened with Redline, right? Bel-Ray, same kind of thing. So they're just going after that, and they do make a killer product. So shout out to Motul.
I've been using Bel-Ray religiously for the last 6-7 years. So Motul.
Hey, how about that Motul? No, we use a lot of Bel-Ray in here too. That's our go-to on oils and honestly like fork fluid, almost everything. But the Motul stuff has been good, so we look forward to maybe doing some more stuff with them in the future and see what happens.
It's like it's things like those kind of brands that I feel like would be such a good synonymous fit to the podcast. You know what I mean? Because those are things that like it's easy to like. I have been religious with Bel-Ray, for like the last I don't know how many years, but it's like I don't know how to. I'm not good at calling companies going, hey. Really like your product, and I was just wondering, if you're interested, you could say no. It's like
because like with Motul, like I didn't run all their oil before they reached out, and that. But like with racing, I always ran like Motul. Their racing brake fluid was like always my go-to. The Moto wash products and that. Like I've always just been like, oh, I like it, So I ran it. So then it was like. They came out for that, and I was like, all right, cool. Like,
sick,
Team Motul.
Well, one of the best parts was, when he puts it on his story, hey, give me a crate motor. Right? They reached out, and they said, hey, we're fans. We love what you're doing. We love the engagement. We want to be a part of this. And that is like one hell of a confidence booster, just to know, like, hey, the right people are paying attention.
Because like one of the persons in charge that like reached out, they're like, hey, I met you at the like House of Harley industry party back in the day. Like, oh, you just seem so nice and talking, with everybody. Like, I like how you are. I've been watching your stuff forever. Like, let's make this happen.
Did they met Jaden that time when he was pulling his balls out in the bathroom?
That was his first year racing. He was headed to Utah for his first race.
No, I was heading to Sonoma, California.
Or Sonoma.
Yeah, because I rebuilt the motor for my bike in between races.
21.
Wait, which motor build was that? Third, fourth, fifth?
Don't worry about it.
Harley shit.
I'm hard on it. So. But yeah, then it was like built a motor down to Texas Performance. Was living down in Austin area, and then I drove up to HPI to get it tuned. I went from HPI in Indianapolis to Milwaukee to the House of Harley industry party, and then we drove all the way out to California from there, and then that was the second BRL race.
I remember that because that was when I was like, I think we were talking. I was like, man, because you and I have ridden every time zone together except for the Pacific time zone.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, it'd be so sick if we could finally do that. I don't know what, like, that's kind of like a cool rite of passage, or maybe not that's the right word, but like to be able to say like I've ridden in every time zone with another, person is like a cool little flex.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because we've done, New York City, Texas, Sturgis.
If only you rode in California.
Dude, I've ridden in California. I've ridden in California. I've just never ridden the streets of California.
Doesn't count.
I've ridden 2 racetracks in California.
Yeah.
You wore a race suit. That's not riding. That's racing.
I rode in the pits. I thought about it when I was doing that Sonoma race because I still had like DOT-ish like street tires when I rolled out there, and I was like, I should just go take this thing up to the gas station or something on the street. Like,
dude, Sonoma's cool. Like, you're in a real good spot to go right to some pretty badass rides.
Oh yeah, dude, the Sonoma track, like with all the B-rolls that we did, like the Sonoma track was. It was awesome. The only thing that sucked was like the weather because we did it in like December. Like it was that. So it was like a high of like 54, maybe 58 degrees. Like it wasn't hot out. So it's like you went out on the track and like, you're kind of fighting for some grip. And, I had the bike step out like multiple times and you're like, we probably shouldn't have been racing, but it was when the track was available and everything. So like we went out and made it happen. But yeah, that area and that track, like that was a crazy cool opportunity.
So how did you like feel like, at the beginning of every year, like right now I'm thinking about my next year, like how's it going to go? How has this year been different, or how has it been like in line with like maybe your vision for what this year was going to be? Does that make sense?
Just as a motorcycle enthusiast, as Forever Rad, as all of it?
Both, yeah,
This year was a little bit different because I had this opportunity with Indian corporate to do a build for them. And so after 4 solid years of really hardcore Indian, building custom Indians, producing parts, manufacturing parts, selling parts to the public, going really, really hard. They finally were like, hey, we're going to give you a shot. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And so my main focus was everything it takes to show the world what Forever Rad can offer. And then from there, it was building a bike. And it quickly became a realization, I can't build an amazing bike by myself we literally had like 3 months to do it, and that's not ideal. So it was the definition of teamwork and really believing in the team that's been created here and letting everybody kind of spread their wings and have their own opinions and their own thoughts and collecting all of the heads to create something amazing. And we absolutely crushed it, hands down. We fucking crushed it. Super stoked and proud of that. But the whole first half of the year was based on that. It was failure is not an option. This is it. This is what we have to do. And not only did we have to build that bike, but we had to build one for myself. On top of customer builds and customer service with parts sales and, just bikes that are in and out every day. So it's been a very tough year, but it's been very rewarding. Yeah, we have done
very, very busy.
We have done so much. Yeah. It's been crazy, but
they dropped that 25 Power Plus Chieftain. Like we got, the forged bike and another one on February 14th.
Well, and then the Power Plus Chieftain got announced to the public January 25th. All right. So I was at Drag Specialties MVP, Louisville, Kentucky. And that weekend is when they did the Indian dealer show down in Florida, and they showed the world the new Power Plus Chieftain. And what's that? 20 days later, 2 of them showed up here, and you couldn't even buy one yet. But here we had 2 of them in the shop, brand new, no miles. What world is this?
Yeah.
We're like, this is crazy.
But you're also building bikes that they're potentially, it's not like you can just jump in the catalog right quick and see what's all available. No, some of this stuff is new.
Well, this is brand new. And like that bike got delivered on Valentine's Day. And then he's like got a hair up his ass and goes, we're bringing this one to Daytona.
Yeah, we
had
We couldn't afford to
12
not.
days?
Yeah, I mean, we literally had
11 days, 12 days?
2 weeks at the very most, like to actually start on a bike and finish on a bike. And it would allow us to have the first custom built Power Plus Chieftain in the world, right next to Kerry Hart. And so Kerry is the face for Indian. He gets his bikes many months in advance. Yeah. And so he's had the opportunity to get rolling on his bike, and he kept it secret from everybody, as he should. He had to. And so he was able to put out a fully painted, dialed in motorcycle. And we did everything to every detail, like every bolt, every part got modified. The only thing we didn't do is we didn't paint the bike. Yeah. Because let's get real, when you're putting a bike together like that in 2 weeks plus a paint job, like it's just not possible. Yeah. So I chose a color that would be kind of appealing. It would kind of be like when people are talking about it, they would say, "Oh, did you see that new Power Plus Chieftain?" "Oh no, which one?" "The red one." "Oh yeah, you're gonna remember the red one." Yeah. I'm not even really a red paint job kind of guy, but the bike was super appealing, so we chose that and threw a bunch of cool custom touches at it. I'm staring at it as I'm talking. I mean, the bike it's been freaking fantastic, and it looks amazing. You know, it's everything that anybody would ever ask for, unless they wanted a crazy paint job on it. Yeah. But I knew I wanted to stack miles on it because I wanted to get to know the bike. I wanted, it's a new platform, so I wanted to know what it was all about. The number one question was going to be, okay, you've been riding a Challenger for 4 years now. How do you really feel about this? Yeah. Not on a video, not in an interview, but like, hey, the dude's sending me messages. Should I go buy one? Well, I wanted to actually form a real opinion on that. Yeah.
And you had to build a second one for the Forged series.
Yeah, the Forged bike was a total different outlook on things. Like that was like, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll work as late as I have to. I'll spend whatever I have to, and we're gonna absolutely blow the world's mind.
Was there like a relationship that you had to start with the dude that you were building it for? Like, or was it more like?
So we built the bike for Tyler Hubbard. Tyler Hubbard is the lead singer from Florida Georgia Line, the country group. It's kind of a long-winded story that I'll probably just simplify for you. We were told that we were going to build a bike for Bill Burr, the comedian. And at first I was like, what? Like, that's really dope, but also not really. He's like a comedian that's not into he doesn't love motorcycles. Like he rides them, but he's not like an enthusiast, or at least I didn't think he was. So we actually made some decisions on some of the colorways. We could get into that one too, which is a good story. We'll tell that story. We will tell that story. But we had this in our minds for like 2 months. We're going to build this bike for Bill Burr. And then at the last minute, they were like, well, Bill Burr pulled out. And we're like, what?
Yeah. Like scheduling conflicts, whatever. Yeah. There's nothing against anything.
Yeah. It's higher up things that are out of your control. And you're just like, all right, well, we're not going to fail. So we'll just keep going. Well, then a week later, we got told we were going to build it for Tyler Hubbard. And we're like, okay, cool. But I don't know anything about this guy. The bike's like, other than the paint job, the bike is like 80% finished. Like I can't go back and change things. Like we're out of time. And we got to have a meeting with Tyler Hubbard. It was a Google meeting on the laptop. And he was cool. He was dope. And you could tell he was into it. And he was like, hey, as soon as we hang up, give me a call. I'll text you my phone number, So he did. And I called him right away. And we talked for like an hour and just kind of felt him out like, all right, tell me what you're into, what colors you like, blah, blah, blah. And luckily we were at that point where he was able to give some input on things he was into. And then he sent me some different logos that he does for merch, stuff like that. And we were able to fine tune like kind of the final visual of color schemes and logos and stuff that he liked. So we could do that for him, which was cool. And then it got better because when we did the final video and we gave it to him, that was the first time he ever got to see that bike, right? So he had seen the roller, but he had no clue about the paint. And we kept it a secret. I was like, nah, man, you got in way too late. We're just going to surprise you with this. And we showed up to his spot in Idaho. And if you go back and watch that video on Indian's YouTube or whatever, that video was completely organic. That was the first time I shook the dude's hand. When the garage door rolls up, I push the bike out. It's the first time he ever seen the bike. That was as 100% real, all of it. And it was cool. He was so stoked, which made me so stoked. And then after the short filming, we went straight to the mountains and we rode.
Nice.
And this dude, like, I was on a stock Challenger, and I'm like, this dude's never ridden an Indian bagger ever, yet alone lifted with a big motor and killer suspension and fully capable of anything you throw at it. And this dude was hitting the corners so fast. It was like, hopefully he doesn't crash this thing, because I'm going at a rate of speed on a stock height Challenger that's like good enough. Like, I'm not trying to push this much faster. He was ripping. And I was, at that point, I was like, this is exactly how it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you hate to build something for someone that's just going to set it in the corner of the garage and just be like, yo, check it out. This is my Indian. But no, this dude loves riding motorcycles.
That's cool.
So it's been really cool getting, and after that, we went to one of his concerts and hung out, at his backstage with him. And I got to go to his house and meet his wife and his kids. And like, he is a really down to earth, cool person.
So like, I always thought it'd be weird. Not weird. It'd be cool, but it's also like, my luck would be like, I would get like a celebrity that like takes a liking to my my paint work. It'd be like a band I fucking hate or some shit like that. It's like,
I mean, look at me. I don't listen to Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, when the opportunity came up, he goes, "Oh, Tyler Hubbard," and I grew up in Michigan, like bonfires country. Like, I'm like, kind of listening to the guy like back when he was just starting to get famous. I'm not saying that, like, but respected his work and everything. And I was like, it'll be good. And I was like, we're gonna have fun with it. And then.
You could tell that Steve was stoked and pumped on it.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, I know that it would be like if the people are into it, it'll be cool at the other end. But it's just like, you just think of like, I guess you're trying to. It's just like, if I'm going to build a bike for somebody, like, I would want to be as stoked about them.
Well, that's why this is an interesting subject, because like, you could tell Steve was into it. He's like, oh, this is a really cool opportunity. I am a skateboarder who listens to punk rock and rap music, right? Like, I do not listen to country. I despise it.
Yeah.
So at first I'm like, seriously, like, Twitch is building a bike for Ryan Sheckler. Like, I'm the skateboarder. Why am I not building a bike for the skateboarder? But honestly, what happened was I went to dinner with one of my best buddies who he's been tattooing me for 20 years or 15 years. And he said, I hear you. You're hardcore. You're true to the game. I get it. Look around you. Look in this restaurant. He said, keep an open mindset. How many of these people know who Ryan Sheckler is? And I'm like, well, probably not many. Like, I'm just a general restaurant. And then he goes, how many people in this restaurant have heard of Florida Georgia Line? And I was like, shit, probably everybody. Yeah. And that really changed my whole perspective.
Yeah, that is a good perspective.
It was honestly super deep, and it got me really pumped on the opportunity. But then, like, meeting Tyler, that took it to the next level.
Yeah.
And so, and now we stay in touch. And like I said, we went to one of his concerts. He's talked about having us build another bike for him. It's been super cool.
Yeah.
Something that was completely out of our control. It was up and it was down. It was good and it was bad. But what we didn't do is we never let, through the whole process, we didn't let anything stop us. Like, we're going to keep doing everything to the best of our abilities. Like, we've never built a bike to this level.
Yeah.
I mean, literally every part got modified on this bike. And that's
one bolt that didn't get tipped.
Every bolt got replaced. Every single part either got cut, re-welded, modified, recoated. Like, every part got coated on the bike. I mean, even the parts, you can disassemble the bike to just a frame, and every part you find is recoated, even though it's hidden and like a big wheel bagger. Like, you can't see the back wheel, right? Like, no, every single part. I even had to question myself on some of them. I'm like, guys, it's this deep in the bike. There's no way you're going to see that. And that we're still like, no, we're doing everything.
Dude, like the battery tray. Like we coated the battery tray, like up underneath, like that type of shit. Like
well, it's kind of like some of these bikes sitting behind you, man. Like when you're seeing it like this almost more than you're seeing it finished. So when you have all those things done on the bottom side, it just makes you feel like you're more, you're doing better quality. You're putting more effort into it because, I mean, you could talk yourself out of so many things. You could talk yourself out of painting a certain way or coating this or replacing these bolts because they're hidden.
Right.
Like all that stuff.
Well, that's one thing that we never lose sight of in this shop is like, yeah, it costs more money. It takes more time. But once you hit this level of perfection of detail, like you can't go back. And we don't want to go back. That's the thing. So you don't ever want to take a step backwards. Yeah. You always want to keep pushing yourself, pushing your boundaries. Because like stepping it up,
we're riders, so like our perfection of detail, like when we go that deep into changing the bolts and that, it's now to me it's making the bike more reliable. Because like we built the Nerd Glide this year. We haven't even gotten to that point, and like that one went out to what was it, Homecoming. Took home a trophy there, then that, and then it came back and it rode all the way from here to Sturgis and then took home, a trophy out in Sturgis, like having bikes to that detail and then, but still like dead reliable. They didn't get thrown in the trailer just to, do that. So
yeah, the only time I'm in a trailer or anything is if I have to. Yeah. Like absolute have to, and that's just kind of something that has always set me apart as a human. And then when Steve came on, he pushed it that much more because Steve, I mean,
like with the racing, I was racing my bike, put it on the podium, and then in between races I'm like, hey, let's go ride this bike to Sturgis and then come back and swap it back over and then go put it on another podium, like, and then I was like winning bike shows like in between it with this race bike. And it's like to do something to that level of, like, all right, cool. You can make it cool. You make it nice. You make it reliable. And then you can absolutely rip on it. Like the coolest thing, with him talking earlier is like that Forge bike where you go, all right, we touched everything. We made us that. And he goes, oh yeah, he went out and he ripped it. It wasn't, the bike broke down or something. Yeah. Like he went out there and it was dialed and he was stoked.
Well, actually, before we finished the paint job, I put the bare minimum amount of tins on it because I have plenty of Indian parts around here. So we just threw some random tins on it. I put 300 miles on that bike. I wrung that bike's neck for 300 miles because I was like, we're going to build this bike that's so over the top. There's no way I'm going to hand it over to this famous dude. Yeah. And then let it go halfway across the country and get a phone call about something breaking.
Yeah. So like we said earlier, like the road is the final build.
Yeah. You don't know that it's perfect until you start riding it. Yeah. Luckily on the Indian platform, we're literally at the top of it. We've been at the top of it. So we know exactly what they take, what they need, what they're going to ask for, and we know what may be an issue or may not be an issue. So that bike, 300 miles, didn't turn one wrench the whole time. Wrung its neck. Put the tins on it, did the final little details, wrung its neck. Took it to Idaho, took it in the mountains. Literally never turned a wrench on that bike since the day we finished it. And like it's something to be, super proud of. It really helps provide the confidence that it takes to tear a bike down to nothing and just know like, no matter what, we're going to have this under control. Yeah. Granted that we get the time allowed to actually put the miles on, shake it down, etc. I try not to overcommit too much on the deadlines and the times that seem a little unreasonable. Yeah. Just because we've done this enough times to know like, hey, I actually like any bike you see leave this shop, between myself or Steve, we'll put a minimum of 500 miles on it before we even allow it to leave the shop. Yeah. Because
shit happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just barely overlook and, the road will tell you like, all right, something shook loose. I didn't see that it was a problem in the lift.
It may not even be something like that. It may even be a manufacturer's problem. Yeah. We had one bike that we finished. I won't go into too specific of details, but we had one bike we finished that was bulletproof and it was frame off, over the top, amazing bike. And at mile 500, a major component failed. And it was not my fault. I was riding the bike. It was not my fault. The road made this happen. I'm not even going to blame it on the manufacturer, but it completely pushed us back 2 months.
Damn.
You know, and it was out of everyone's control. It would have happened to the owner if he was on the same road at the same spot. Yeah. Luckily, it happened here, and it just pushed us back an extra 2 months. And so, but since then, even that bike is just hasn't turned a wrench. Loves it.
Yeah.
Bulletproof. So
has another bike in here for us to build.
Has another bike in here. Yeah. So anyways, going back to what you asked, like, yeah, the main focus this year was finishing up pre-existing jobs, which we had 2 big road glides that we have been doing for about a year. Frame off, balls to the walls, every part, everything, every centimeter of it. We finished one in February. It's called the Nerd Glide. That was a pretty cool bike. That was white with the purple and pink paint job. And we painted it to look like a skateboard, which has, in the last couple of years, become my guilty pleasure.
No shit.
If I can get somebody to let me do my thing, that's the definition of happiness.
Well, there's a lot of great artwork on boards, and
yeah,
you know,
you find a lot of inspiration in it.
You know, going back and looking at boards is a good place to find like great graphic design.
Dude, I have it sometimes in here where you're just like, you're talking about like paint, you know, we got Sprinkle Painter and him, and then you're just like, you know, a color, and like you have the color in your mind, you know what it is, but you're like, oh, what are you talking about? And I'll literally just walk around the shop and I'm like, dude, that silver that's on that board, like right there, like that's what I'm talking about, that silver.
Yeah.
So like when you have all this, like, you know, different artwork,
there's at least four bikes that we've painted like skateboards because of what he just said.
Yeah.
So
we're just pulling a graphic out of something, or just like, it just sparks a little interest, or, you know, a little inspiration.
You're also like, you're pulling from like a part of something that like defines you a little bit.
It's a part of myself.
Yeah.
And then that's why I said it's the ultimate expression of freedom. It's like spreading your wings and doing your thing. Like, not everybody gets a customer that's like, hey, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Why? Like, it's actually more scary than being told what to do, you know? And you know that. You've had people say, I did it to you when you painted a helmet. I was like, do whatever you want. You're like, well, at least tell me a color. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, name a color. And you're like, how about blue? Well, secretly I was like, I fucking hate blue, but okay, you do blue. And all I had to do was pick one image for you. And
I was just saying what colors I was already painting.
Right. They know exactly. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do, is because that's how we put out the best bikes, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like, we'll take your input, but, you know, let us spread our wings a little bit, and like, you know, like, take your ideas, but sometimes you're going to be like, where the hell did this come from? And be like, well, I've had that idea for like 5 years now, but this is the one that, like,
it's important that you also like, you're touching all these things, and you're you know, because the paint job then goes with the finishes of the rest of the bike, and so all these things have to like work harmoniously together to be a pleasing thing.
So even going back to our forged bike, that bike, we had no clue how we were going to paint it. No clue. I had like some ideas, but no colors were going to be set in stone. And we literally, like, let's talk about this. We learned we were going to build a bike for Bill Burr. And so Steve, being fucking Steve, was like, let's paint it blue, ice cold Burr. And I'm like, Steve, you're literally a moron, dude. Like, what? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That sounds like something you would say.
Absolutely. It was bullshit. It was retarded. It was the dumbest thing I ever heard. But what he did bring to the table was, he said, let's do something we've never done before. Right? Yeah. So it started with, let's do the forks blue. And I was like, well, we've already done blue forks, but it's not common.
Yeah.
Right? It takes a lot of extra effort in the Indian world to do something like that. And so we sent out forks. We're going to give them coated blue. Well, then in the middle of all this, we were like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change the color of the motor. So one of the coolest parts about an Indian Challenger, the Power Plus platform, is the motor is charcoal. Super sick looking.
Yeah.
Until you've been doing it for 5 years and you're like, same gray motor. Like, I kind of wish it was black at this point.
It was like they already had a Chieftain, out. They had the Street Glide version, but it had their old Thunderstroke motor in it. This is the first year that this motor was in this platform. So I was like, let's accent this motor. I was like, that gray that the motor is, it's beautiful. It's great. But I was like, let's just have a big, like, this is what you want to see. So,
yeah.
So what we did was we took our Cerakote chips. As you know, Springle is a big fan of Cerakote. Springle is our painter, for anybody who doesn't know who we are.
He's over there creeping on the side.
Yeah, he's on Tinder, he's like on Tinder or something.
Yeah, on Grinder.
Shut up, Springle.
You don't have a microphone on. Nobody can hear you.
Springle paints next door. He's our in-house painter, best friend, man, wife, all the things. He grabs the Cerakote chips. And so we took just the team. And then one random customer who happened to be here, who we'll call him family because he actually has a Forever Rad security shirt. He's like real thick.
Sidetrack.
And so that's sidetrack. But so we took the team and we took the Cerakote chip book and we handed it between a circle of like 8 people. And we were like, all right, we're going to paint them. We got to pick 2 colors for the motor and the chassis. Pick your favorite colors. No restrictions. And literally everybody, like, it was like, we did the hat trick. Remember the hat trick?
Yeah.
We would pinstripe bikes off of people's ideas in Sturgis and all that. Mm-hmm. So we did the hat trick with Cerakote. And everybody put their choices in a hat, and 6 out of 8, the choice was a certain blue color. And that blue color was the color of the engine that we chose.
Yeah.
Which was called blue steel. And kind of goes hand in hand with what he was getting at. Like the whole, Bill Burr, ice cold, blue, So anyway,
it's just like a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah.
It was funny. And then then we learned that Twitch was going to build a bike for Forged. And he was building his own personal bike as well. Just like I built the red one.
Yeah.
Or we built the red one. And he says, I'm going to name my bike Blue Steel. And I was like, I don't think so. No, we did our motor blue. And he's like, I painted my bike blue. It's embroidered on the seat. And I was like, Cerakote your motor and then we'll talk. So that was a funny little jab or whatever at Twitch. But anyways, yeah, so we did all that. And then we finished the Nerd Glide. We painted it to look like a Vision Gator skateboard, which is cool because Gator is the pro skater of the model we chose. And he's been in prison for a long time for like raping and murdering a girl. So, controversy sells. And then we painted it white, pink, purple, and blue. And the bike was just super dope. And yeah, we took it to Milwaukee in July for hometown rally. Got like best of show. And then we rode it to Sturgis. No problems. Other than the one time Chris put too much gas in it. You weren't with us though.
No.
You weren't with. He put too much gas in it and it was a right side fill only. Mm-hmm. And the bike leaned pretty hard. So as soon as he stood it up and then fired it up, gas came out of the gas cap.
Ooh.
And then those who were there will be literally rolling on the floor laughing if they're watching this because we went in and bought some hose and made him siphon the gas out of his own tank. And he got a lot of gas in his mouth. And that was really funny. But yeah, that bike made it to Sturgis and turned out sick. The other thing we did for Sturgis was we just mentioned Springle. Yeah. Springle does not do much for himself. He works very hard when he works, painter shit.
No, wait, come on, dude.
No, he works very hard, but he never does much for himself. And so he bought himself a brand new Road Glide and decided he wanted to paint it. And we were like, hey, we got this opportunity. We do a lot with OG Moto from Canada.
Yeah.
Sell a lot of their parts for Indians and Harleys. And they wanted to do a collab build. So figured this would be the best bike to do it with.
Yeah.
Sitting right over there. So we threw every single OG part that they make at the bike and turned it into a roller. And then we were like, all right, what do we do now? Let's do what the average man can accomplish. Like, we didn't do a big crazy motor. We didn't do all these crazy one-off sheet metal modifications.
We couldn't even talk him into doing a cam in it.
Yeah, no, it's got it.
I was like, come on, at least let's do a cam.
Yeah, it's got a pipe and a Screaming Eagle tuner on it still. You know, it's just a brand new bike, but visually appealing is what we were going for. And so we wanted just a marketing piece for us, for Springle, for OG Moto. So nailed that, rode that to Sturgis. My son rode to Sturgis with me. That's a whole different story. And then one of our best buddies, Steven, on the Mustard King, rode that to Sturgis. And so it was
That's gotta be rad, like going up there and just like you're rolling and all your boys are like decked out in your shit.
We had 12 motorcycles there this year.
That's it.
And it's the most humbling thing ever. It's just like, it's that moment of hard work pays. This was all worth it. It's like the level of pride is
I'm kind of in it's like I'm in a smaller version of that boat right now because when I sold my Road Glide and my Lowrider ST May of last year, all I had was my gold FXR, right, the chop. And then now some of the project bikes I bought with the money I sold those bikes for, now those things are done, and I'm like, oh shit! Like I walked in my shop and I got 3 cool motorcycles. You know what I mean? Like, you pull them all outside, and you're like, this is kind of fucking cool. You know what I mean?
I get that. At this point last year, I had 6 of those.
Yeah.
And I was over it, dude. I was like, I wish I could have the money from that one and the money from this one. And I'm sick of paying insurance on at least 4 of them. Which one needs an oil change? Which one needs tires? It got to be too much for me. So I've scaled it back to 3 this year, which has been manageable.
Yeah.
But fortunately, just, all the hard work and sacrifices to start a shop and, create what we've created and building a team, we now have all that customer base.
Yeah.
And we have fans, we have loyalty, we have friends or customers that are now family to us. Mm-hmm. And
it's just as cool when your homie is riding next to you on a bike that you're like, I built that. That's his bike. Where you're like, I put that together. That's cool.
It used to bother me a lot because it would be like, oh, we're going to go road trip with our homie's bike that we just built for him. And it's like anything that goes wrong, you're right? Cool. Like, I'm the one who's turning the wrenches. I'm the one that's going to the hardware store or finding a freaking MIG welder in the middle of nowhere.
When Big Will Cody and James and all the Fast Life crew dudes, we were traveling together. It was 8 fucking cool motorcycles pulling into town and shutting the bar down and having a good time, And that to me, like I was always like a fucking amazing feeling because I got to paint a lot of those bikes.
Mm-hmm. The exact same feeling.
Exactly. Like that the one year when I met up with you after Sturgis and got to roll with all you guys and all the way down New Mexico and through Colorado, New Mexico and Texas and like this shit, like there's no other feeling than that, like when every bike that you're rolling with is like customized to the hills. Like it's,
and I think that like I feel like the bike scene in general might, I don't know, like I'm probably projecting something that isn't true right now, but it just feels like it got to this point where people weren't going that hard on their bikes anymore. Like a lot of factory looking bikes
with the work they're doing.
Yeah,
it's gotten less and less.
Are you talking about my gray bike?
Yeah, the Poverty Glide over there. I'm gonna leave my orange badges because no one leaves the badges on. Dude, check it out, orange chain.
Don't you hate those like ways that people convince themselves their lazy ideas are good ideas?
Yeah. Well, Steve has his own reasoning for that.
Yeah.
That the bike's sick, and he's got almost 20,000 miles on that bike now. So, aside from the Poverty Glide, you're correct. And people have been doing that. It's been getting less and less and less. It's those trends that we've all seen since you started 20 years ago. I'm on year 15. You're on year 20. We've watched them come. We watched them go. And now we're watching them come back.
Yeah.
Right? So
if Real Fire can come back, I'm going to be fucking rich.
Exactly.
Just out here.
Fucking A, dude. So, all right, we're getting excited about this. Fucking True Fire. So, like, I joke around. Like, True Fire is fucking cool.
It is fucking cool.
So what are you doing? Put your phone. Turn your phone on.
True Fire is fucking cool. And so, like, I joke around with them, whatever. And then we had homies like Softail ST that we did. And
y'all did like a little smoke.
We did True Smoke. you know.
But it was kind of similar to the old Road Glide CBO.
The skunk.
The skunk, yeah.
Which I'd like to hit on that because that was part of this year too.
Yeah.
That was actually finished before this new Indian stuff that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes.
But yeah, so then like I joke around with them, you know, I'm like a poker and prodder every once in a while, you know, just like that. And then it came around to painting that bike, and then we're like, dude, like there's something that we can at least introduce a little bit to it. And then, you know, Springle fucking can nail that stuff, you know, and it's like they did the true smoke all the way down. It was just that extra little texture that's thrown in a paint job. You know, it had graphics on the side and all that, but yeah, True Fire's coming back.
I have a helmet I'm doing for City Morgue dude up there, and I think I'm throwing a little bit of True Fire green on there, which I don't know. I think it's a great filler. I don't know. I mean,
It is. It's just very outdated.
it is.
It can be done right and it can be
It
done
got
wrong.
so popular that it got everywhere, and now it's nowhere. So it feels like it could have a home again.
It could be used in certain places,
Not like just,
but not overdone.
Yeah,
Not just a black vehicle with True Fire.
yeah. Because you know what annoys me is when people are like, "Well, you know, I really like a flame bike, but everybody's doing that right now." I was like, dude, why? Like, you're on a bike everybody bought, so let's not play that game. Do what you want. It's your fucking motorcycle.
Right.
If you like the same flame job that someone else has, man, like, try to change it up to your style. But if you absolutely have to do it, just tell the dude that you were inspired by him and fucking, you know, fuck him. Keep going.
Well, I also think a lot of the people that you're working for or were working for, whatever, they haven't been doing this as long as we have, right? Yeah. So they're newer to it. They're excited. They just want what's cool, what's current, what's relevant. They don't know any better.
Panels aren't really around anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, dude, like retro style paint jobs come back hard, just like the fucking, you know, lines and the, you know, a couple different colors and doing that. And
that's what I was saying earlier when I got here. You know, when Sprinkle was talking about like the paint scheme, he's kind of looking for some new like lines or flavor to go with them. I'm kind of in the same boat. You know, I just don't, you know, like the thing is like my customer wanted a helmet based on what he's seen me do. So you don't want to go so far off of that path that he's not getting what he wanted from me because I'm trying to experiment with some new ideas.
Yeah.
So
you have so much of your own flavor.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stray from that because
but I want to evolve the flavor because, you know, I want to take some of these things that I've, you know, in my world perfected to my style and see if I can adapt them with some old shit that I haven't done in a long time.
Right.
You know, that might be blending the things together. And, you know, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just such a, I think that anytime flames get popular in like a culture, whether it's cars or motorcycles, is like, that is the transition period for whatever the next style of paint job is about to come.
Yeah. It's absolutely correct. I was just at SEMA last week, and the most common paint job at SEMA, didn't matter what the vehicle was. It could have been a Lambo or a lifted Toyota or you name it. It was just 5 stripes, gradient fade. Red, medium red, orange, medium orange, yellow, dark yellow, right? Like that was the most played out paint job that I've seen at SEMA this year. And it was, to me, it was like, bro, we've been doing that for like 3 or 4, 5 years. 5 years now.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And then it's like, that's like the nail in the coffin where you're like, I got to quit doing that.
Yeah.
What's next? But I think that's where the next thing is what you were just saying. It's almost like a spin-off of what we used to do, but doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
And so maybe the True Fire thing works.
And now you can come back with 15 more years of experience and go, all right, I'm going to throw this together with every other skill that I've had, but I'm going to put that as a new element that's up in it. You know what I mean? Because when you probably did True Fire 15 years ago, you don't have some of the skills that you did, 15 years ago. So you can be like, oh, True Fire with fucking some silver leaf in. You're like,
it's always about the layout.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, you can be the best airbrush artist on the planet with whatever you're doing, patterns, murals, gold leaf, striping, whatever. Everyone has their skill sets, but if it can't flow from front to back every single time, game over. Like that's the difference between the men and the boys.
That was always a big problem with like full color airbrush work. Is you don't airbrush on the side of the tank and the side of the fender and be like, it could be the best shit you've ever seen. But if there's no kind of direction, it just doesn't work.
Right.
You know, it needs some kind of like framing or a lot of times the reason why like I airbrush the helmets monochromatic, just, you know, black and white, is because it doesn't overpower the rest of the helmet. It blends into the graphics. And if it was a full color airbrush, which, to be honest with you, I haven't done that in so long, I probably can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I prefer it to be this way because I don't want it to stand out that much, you know? And I don't know. I just feel like there's it is like a weird like transition period where I feel like the graphics are, you know, I think they're getting more, I would say probably on the lines of how you've been doing graphics lately, you know, on a lot of your bikes.
I've been
seeing a lot more of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching that on the Harley side and the Indian side, even factory bikes that are coming out.
Yeah.
The last 2 or 3 years, I've seen numerous Harleys and Indians that were straight. Maybe I'm wrong, but they were way too obvious of something that we've been doing. The way that a panel flows from one panel to another one, or a certain type of graphic. And at that point, you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing it right. But you hate to not stick to your roots on what you're into.
Yeah.
And you don't want to force yourself into something you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
So it's a weird balance.
When Harley released their, I guess their promo video last week, and it had a picture of my lower ST in there.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
I was, you know, in my head, I was like, I was flattered, right? And I remember the day that shot, that Brad Richards took that photo at a Jeff Holt show in Sturgis. But I mean, in my head, I'm like, man, like, why don't you just reach out to me and like, you know, because they would never hire a guy like me because I'm not a college degree designer, you know? But it's like, I guarantee you I'll fucking paint circles around anybody that works for that company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as the canvas, I know the canvas very well. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it would make sense to maybe like fly me out. Let's talk theory behind this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that your stuff is so involved and over the top that they can't afford to do that on 100 bikes or 500 bikes or 1,000 bikes. So they find this happy balance between the two.
Yeah, it's the same thing whenever I was working with Simpson. The idea of making a graphic helmet has to be something that they can make into slides.
Exactly.
Right? And so that I understand the concept of dumbing something down.
Right.
And originally, if you take apart my paint jobs on baggers or the ST, if you take apart to just a simple two-tone, the lines is what I'm saying. Like, I'm taking your shapes and finding lines in it that nobody else is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or at least, I'm not saying nobody is. I'm just saying like it's unique to like my flavor.
Right.
You know, there's like right now I'm doing a road glide where I'm literally just doing a graphic that goes straight down the bag, straight across the tank. And that's not something I've done. Mm-hmm. You know, most of my stuff has a curve or has an angle or whatever. They kind of contradicts the lines of the direction of it, right. You know?
We do that all the time, straight through the bike.
Yeah.
Because it's a push. It pushes you to your boundaries of, crap, does this look bad or does this look just right?
Yeah.
And that's how you keep it fresh.
Yeah. And like sometimes to me, like, you know, I didn't grow up in the paint world and all that, but it's like when you have a graphic that flows from one panel to the other, like you notice that they probably reassembled the bike to lay out the graphic job to do this instead of, they just had it sitting on a bench. Like with me, sometimes the paint jobs, like they can have a cool flame job and it looks like they laid it out on a bench and it's like the flame runs, you know, parallel, and then this one panel, it shoots up.
Uphill.
And you're just like, what happened here? Like, did they not like think that this panel was mounted on an angle a little bit? You know, like FXRT lowers, like sometimes you see it and it's just like it shoots uphill and you're like, that don't make sense to me. Like why?
Well, it sucks on FXRs because a lot of people want flame jobs on them, and the side covers and the lowers in particular, it's hard to put the flames the same size. And I hate 6 different size flames. And I typically do my flames larger.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so it just doesn't fit. So sometimes it just doesn't make sense to do it.
To even do flames on that panel.
Yeah, just put a number on there or a logo or a pinstripe, you know?
We find that all the time. And that's why we, everything goes next door, gets based, cleared, cut down, brought back over, fully assembled.
Yeah.
And then Springle will spend 1 day or 7 days laying out a graphic shop. You know, between a couple of people in here that voice opinions and, oh yeah, that looks good. And then you nail it on the lift, and you roll that bitch down and put it on its kickstand and lean it over, and you're like, well, that didn't work.
Dude, that's like
you literally rip it back off and start over again.
It's like the Forge bike, you know, the Forge bike graphic on it. Like, you know, Springle spent a day, did it on the lift, and we're like, dude, that looks sweet. It's standing straight up and down. It's, you know, right there. We rolled her off the lift, and like most of us just said, no, that's not it. Like, it was cool, and then the vibe of what the paint job is, like, played off it, but just the way it laid out on all the panels.
I know the same thing this summer. I was doing this bike for Zach Ness, and I was struck. I was like, I really wanted to impress that family. I'm a huge fan of them, right? And they gave me an opportunity to paint a bike, and Zach was so nonchalant in his responses to everything that I could not tell if he was stoked or not, or if he liked it. And so it made me second guess every fucking thing I was doing and the amount of anxiety I had going through this whole process and just wonder if he's going to like it. And so every day would end with me going, fuck it. It's cool. I like it. Fuck it. And then I go home and I lay in bed and I'm just like, oh my God, if they don't like it, I'm over. I'm done. I'm a fraud. And they got it there and they took it out of the box, which is always scary shipping a bagger, dude, because you never know what's going to happen on the way. But they pulled it out of the box and put it on the bike, and, you know, both of them praised, you know, Corey and Zach. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Because that was like a lot of stress lifted because I wanted it to look nice. And the thing is that he goes, he wanted it dark gray, and he goes, so I picked some colors that I thought would work well, and I already painted it all. And he goes, and I was like, hey man, it's like, it is darker. It does look brighter in the photos. He goes, cool. As long as it doesn't look like a Raiders logo. I'm like, and I looked at him like, fuck. It's like exactly like a Raiders logo, you know, color wise. And I'm like, God damn it. It's like, put me in this like very uncertain kind of mentality the whole way. But
And
I just didn't have the time or luxury to change anything.
Yeah, and sometimes that mentality like fucking makes or breaks you. You know, where you sit there and you go, shit, is this the right choice for the bike? Is this, you know, am I doing the right thing? And you're like, this is an easy thing to do. And, you know, if you step a little bit out of your boundaries on some shit, like, you know, something great can come, and you're gonna be like, man, I flopped that. You know?
And that's kind of the thing is like, I feel like I need to be happy about everything that comes out, because if I'm happy and I'm truly am, and I'm just lying to myself, then typically the customer's going to dig it because they know that I dig it. If I dig it, I am, you know, it's my work. I should be digging it, you know? But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's the difference between just really being artistic versus just putting stuff together. You know, I mean, that's really all it comes down to.
Yes. And like in this shop, the one thing that's cool is like, we get to say from start to finish, you know, you saying like, oh, we shipped a paint set to them and like they put it on the bike. Like we're sitting here, we're like, we know what the wheels we're doing on it. We know what like forks, the tubes, what even style bolts.
Well, that's the big difference between like the way the culture seems to have been for the last, you know, handful of years in performance is like, this is the kind of bike that a lot of people have been building in the garage. They've, you know, that's why there's 14 different golds on their bikes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm making a joke there, and I don't mean to talk shit because I'm not. Like, hey, whatever you do that you enjoy, I fuck with it. But the thing is, the level of going from you buying a part here and there and throwing it on your bike, and it's got a lot of nice stuff on it, versus everything was designed and coded to match and go together, is the difference that the performance motorcycle scene has needed. And, you know, guys like San Diego Customs in the early days and even now still produce it. You know, there's been handfuls of them over the years that, you know, Justin's bike, the bikes you've built, you know, Spatterford choppers, things like that. Like they've done, you know, these bikes have done, but I think that the ones that get a lot of play all year have been like garage builds by people that is a paint job or is, you do your kit, you got a speedy little swing arm, some Lindahl wheels, turbo and a bunch of carbon and Monty Roach pinstriped it. You know what I mean? And or Lucky Strike painted it, and you have like a fail-safe kit bike.
Yeah.
That is gonna fuck and look good, right?
I mean, it's cool in itself that it's gotten to that point.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. It really is.
Yeah, I think I sounded like I was talking shit about it, but I was,
it wasn't negative, but
it's like, nowadays, like back in the day, like, when I met Kyle, he had an inverted front end on a Road King, and like nobody had an inverted front end on a Road King, and I had an inverted front end on my Road Glide. You can finance that shit through fucking Harley now. Like, that shit fucking changed.
That is
like,
one thing I've been telling a lot of people, is that in the early days of this stuff, we didn't have the parts to build the bikes that people can build now. And we still made shit cool with what we could retrofit from Dynas, FXRs, big wheel baggers. I mean, the mid controls we were using back days was big wheel bagger shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I've always thought like that, whatever ending of a trend was the moment that you can finance something. Like I've seen it with like diesel trucks, and then you do this, like the moment when something comes so readily available that, anybody can buy it. It's like, all right, then it's not as cool anymore.
I mean,
so like
you can finance any part you want at foreverrad.com for real, bro. So here we are. So, let's talk about where we're headed, right? Yeah. I mean, we could talk about our past till we're blue in the face. We have had an amazing run at it. We're doing it for a long time. So everybody here at this table. Next is going to be, it's going to be men versus boys. It's going to be talent versus you don't know shit about fuck, right? Like that's really where I think where it's headed. So we're at that next trend of, hey, you're going to need to know how to cut something in half and weld it back together. You can't just buy everything. And so that whole thing is going to start over again. But I don't know if it's going to be the FXRs doubling down, if it's going to be the performance chopper that's coming in with the cruisy versus thrashing thing, which I support. I think it's cool. I think that as we get older, we don't want to ride uncomfortable bikes. Think about it. We've been riding these. Actually, your journey has been super crazy to watch. Like your bagger, all your baggers, your Softail, to go into the FXR chopper, and now this purple chopper, and it's like, okay, well, but you're going the wrong way, bro. Your back's gonna hurt, But at the end of the day, you're just following what your interests are and things you haven't done before that you want to try and do differently, but putting your own spin on it. And it's actually cool because even you're invited, like we just did Born Free Texas together, and even your chopper didn't scream, oh, I was built 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It kind of feels like its own thing. Yeah. Like the wheel choice, the paint job. Yeah, maybe that was 10 years ago. Maybe it was 50 years ago. But like there's certain things that you did that make it kind of period correct that even a guy like myself can pick up on. Yeah. And so not to branch out too far, but even the bike behind us right here is like, that's the same thing. It was like, hey, we're going to build this dyno. Who's not seen a dyno been built? Like everyone's seen a dyno.
Yeah, it was funny though, because when you chose to do a dyno, it felt like the dyno platform has just kind of been completely overlooked for the last 5 years.
Yeah. Well, everyone's been focused on M8 Softail. Yeah. And so for us to step up and not do the same, what I didn't want to do was do the same dyno everyone's already seen. And so I do feel like everything's headed towards the chopper side of things. Yeah. Right. We're seeing this major wave of, I'm not going to start listing all these builders, but you got different builders that are heading more towards the chopper side because they're talented. They can cut something in half and weld it back together or make their own backbone and cut a neck and all those types of modifications. But what scares me about that is I feel like there's going to be like this small amount of people that excel in that. But then your average people that we've been kind of catering to, they're not capable of that. It's actually dangerous. There's going to be bikes getting ruined. People are going to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone should be cutting motorcycles up. Yeah. So I don't know how we move forward from this trend is what I'm getting at.
Let's dive into why it's going that way. And I would like to hear your opinion on it. but maybe just because I talk about this so much, my opinion as to why it's going that way is that we've done so many of these bikes that looks like new uncharted waters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for me, the chopper idea was something I'd always wanted, but I wanted to do my due diligence and to understand that culture, which I've spent the last 2 years doing podcasts, learning things, and gaining also respect from a lot of people that built that culture.
All right.
To the point whenever I built that bike with Corey, obviously, main drive, the bike, like you said, it has these core values of a vintage chopper, but it has the things that looks like it would come from the Fast Life garage. And honestly, that was not by design. It just spoke to me and I went that direction. I don't like spoke wheels because they suck for traveling on. Mm-hmm. And I knew that billet wheels would kind of like solve that problem, but also give me like originally the wheels that were going to go on it were more, like I said, they looked like IROC Z wheels from old Camaro. I wanted something kind of 80s, and then like everything just falls into place, like there's still things I want to do to that bike. There's the T-bars are there, but they're chopper style T-bars, you know what I mean? I still wanted suspension in the front. Like there's all that, but like, I think that a lot of the guys are just looking to expand their skills, and a chopper opens that door and provides a bigger platform to do more handmade things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not that you can't do it on these bikes, but they're, it's like, okay, well, it's like Corey always says, like, I have a grinder, a cutoff wheel, and a welder. I'm going to make a custom bike with these three things.
Right. And I mean, we literally do the same thing here in this shop, but I guess all I'm getting at is to build a chopper, it requires talent.
Yeah.
It just does. And a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it yet, and that's the point of going.
So, if you go back 20 years, all the trends come back.
Yeah,
you have like the 7-year thing of like paint styles and stuff like that, but like the 20-year thing, right? Like we're at 20 years of fat tire choppers. Dying, right? Nothing has been bigger than that. Even performance baggers, I don't think is as big as what fat tire choppers was. Maybe it's close. Right? Like the racing took it to the next level and blah, blah, blah. The parts are easier to manufacture, so any average Joe can bolt it onto their bike in their garage. But now I think that if choppers are coming back, it has to be the guy that's been riding motorcycles the last 5 years. He's fallen in love with riding motorcycles, not looking at motorcycles. He loves riding because the parts are good. The bikes are comfortable. The bikes are reliable. It's easy to do. Well, if you're going to move towards choppers, that mindset, I feel like, needs to come with it. So it's got to be a thing of like, oh, you want to change the neck on your bike? Well, you need to be able to find a decent setup that you can purchase to be able to do that to your bike, rather than going to your local steel supply company and buying tubing, and buying a tube bender and a tube notcher and a TIG welder and pretending like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not good for anybody.
Well, it's not good if people if they're not learning how to do it properly. They'll put a lot of people in danger by just,
what have we talked about since the day I met you? I've known you for over 6-7 years now. Instant gratification. That's what people want every single time.
Well, that's also like the point of like, while I found a mentor in Corey to take me in and show me, and I welded a lot of things. I did a lot of the welding on my hardtail on this bike, but I still, Corey still did probably more, at the end of the day.
Fair.
But
that's what I'm saying is not everybody has a Corey.
Exactly.
Not everyone has someone to lean on and learn from.
If they humble themselves and they step into someone else's world and ask for the opportunity to learn. And that's honestly how we all have to do it. It was easy for us to humble ourselves and do that when we were, 20 years old, because we needed a job. We needed an opportunity.
Yeah.
And so that's where I found that in this process of learning, it's been an amazing experience being a student instead of trying to always be a teacher, by not having to go here and project what I already know, but just sit here and be the guy that doesn't know shit, and learn how to weld. And then when I fuck up, go, hey man, how am I getting porosity in steel? This is bullshit. Like, I get it in stainless. I get it in all these, and so you learn this stuff, and then your welds get better. And like for me, you know, like I'm the painter builder that has to like, when you think of builders, like, or customizers, however you want to look at it, you have, if you're a mechanic, you're like already, oh yeah, that's a builder. If you're a fabricator, you're already at the top. But if you're a painter, like they think that, oh, I thought you were just a painter. Just like, I don't know how to use a wrench. Right. Like I have no mechanical aptitude. Like, so there's probably a little bit of a thing, like I want to prove myself or something. But I mean, I have a hard time watching anybody do something that I feel like I might be able to do and not try it. Like this weekend I was hanging out with a dude that does engraving, and I was like, man, I've been watching fucking videos about it so much. Like, I don't want to get into engraving. Like,
right. That's
like, hey man, send me all your shit.
Right.
But it's like power plant. Like the dude does his own shit, and I kind of want to like maybe hone a version of that skill to do on my bikes, and that's the only way you get it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the only way you got a helmet for me was Simpson. Mm-hmm. You know, there was barriers, and there was exclusivity that was created in that, and you know.
Yeah, or you're just building your own bike, and you're like, that air cleaner needs some engraving on it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to do it for myself.
So, I mean, I just want to keep learning something, you know, and then applying these skills. You said it earlier, like you're applying new skills, like we're talking about with the paint work and this, that, and the other. And I do agree with you that like, it's not something like, hey, you just go to the store real quick, grab a TIG welder. Right. And, you know.
Dude, like in my story, like, you know, Screaming Speed and Fab, like when I started that, you know, 6 years ago, like I really didn't know how to TIG weld. I had a roommate at the time that was good at TIG welding, and I was just you know, I was like, oh, just whatever. I bought one, you know, with some Christmas bonus money at my own TIG welder, and then like just started, and I started doing like, you know, side covers, and literally just forced myself into the skill of just trying to metal fabricate. Like I've done shit with the best of ability with other tools I had before, but then it's like over the past 6 years of just trying to be like, all right, what's the next level? What's the next level? What's the next level? Like we got this bike behind it, like welded, you know, every panel on this thing has metal modification on it, you know, the frame, the dash, the tank, the front fender, rear fender. And it's all stuff that I'm like, all right, shit, like could I have done this like 10 years ago? I would try, but it wouldn't be to the level it is. So it's just like, you know, always just trying to level yourself up to a little bit, you know. There are people better than me. Fuck yeah, there's people better than me. Yeah. But fucking when I do it, I got heart in it. And I'm like, I'm going to make that the best that I can.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is a lot of people got to learn how to do this shit before social media. You know what I mean? And so sometimes when you already have a brand, a name, and things like that, it's hard to be a student again or be an entry-level person at something, right? And that's kind of why it's like good to do it for yourself and then hone those skills until you're ready to offer it. Like I feel pretty proficient with welding steel. I feel pretty proficient at welding stainless steel, and I just need to have a little bit more patience with it. My patience is what kind of gets my welds a little off, but they do hold. I've proven that on 35,000 mile motors and things like that. But I'm still not confident enough that I would want to take on the role of cutting off a neck and doing all that stuff yet. Like I'm just not there with the confidence of that. But I will do it for my bike. Like eventually I'm gonna have to do it on my own for my bike. I'm not gonna make that a customer's bike. Right. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of like it's like I was telling Mike and Grant, you know, after Born Free Texas, it's like, not that they asked me or anything, but I was like, you know, one day I really want to be a Born Free California builder. And I want to be at that point where I feel like I can bring something that is unique to me, custom and cool, that I'm proud of, that I feel like I can hold my own in that arena. Not that I can beat them all. I can just hold my own. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know when that'll be. That might be 2 years, 10 years. I don't fucking know.
For sure. No, I totally get that. I mean, you said it best just now, like the dude who knew how to do things before social media, right? Yeah. And like knowing that you're good, and then you don't want to have to be viewed as, oh, I'm starting over, learning something in the public light, like of social media or whatever. That's exactly how I started too, you know, over 20 years ago with cars and trucks. And so Now, like I deal with it every day now with this dude. Like I could weld circles around anybody. And I just haven't been doing it.
Yeah.
And Steve is so good that I'm like, here, bro, weld this. Yeah. Like, I know I can grab the welder and weld this motherfucker. We're good. Yeah. But I know he's better and he's quicker.
I got a station set up and
he's ready to rock and roll. So like, who am I kidding? You know, like I've created this own role of what I do now.
Yeah.
Which is more of like the visionary who has the experience and knows what it takes to do it. And maybe I don't know every single time, but I have an idea to get us there.
That's a very, I think, undervalued role in the bike building process, because people want to attach that skill to things like fabricating, mechanicking, and things like that, right? But a visionary, someone that can see the project, they can find the colors, find the parts, modify the parts, like that is like something that I think is so overlooked, right? I've said it many times in this podcast. I've met some of the most talented fabricators in the world that cannot build a custom bike that looks good.
Yeah,
it's a total badass one part,
or meet a fucking deadline.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like you got to see a whole project in your head, you know, let alone trying to source the parts. But you go, all right, cool, I can't get that. What's the next best option?
It's the same like y'all said earlier. Like it's like you do something, but you have like a team here of people that you trust their idea, and I think that they get your vision and they're a part of the deal. So.
Yeah, and as that goes along, the whole thing continues to. It's like a giant snowball. It keeps building and building, and the idea or what it was or what you thought you once knew, it slowly starts to convert, and it's no longer just my vision. But it's the things that I've taught or shown, but also it's me opening up and listening to other people as well, and that's kind of the beautiful part about it. And when we talk about the team, it's not it's not 12 people.
Yeah,
there's literally 4 dudes here.
Yeah,
from 4 different backgrounds, right? And
we all don't get too many cooks in the kitchen.
We all have our own thing, and we're all really good at our own thing, and we're all good at everything. But each one of us shines above in something. And so when you put it all together, and there's no egos, and there's no bullshit, and there's no, cool guy. It's for the greater of what you're creating. That's how you can get to this point of like banging them out constantly. Yeah. And the one thing that'll hold you back is your own ego, just like staying trapped in your own mind on, I'm the best. I got to keep doing the same thing I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. No, we try to keep pushing ourselves constantly to do something different, to show that we're not a one trick pony. We're going to continue to evolve. That's why we started talking about this Dyna. Like we literally took a Dyna and we were like, how do we make it into a chopper without cutting the neck off of it? And that's what we tried to create. Or hardtailing it. Yeah. And we tried to create that vision. And maybe we knocked it out of the park. Maybe we failed miserably.
Yeah.
But guess what? You're not going to be mad at it. The bike is sick. And it showcases all the talents from start to finish, right? But next we're going to an FXR build.
Yeah.
And I am not going to claim to be an FXR guy. Like, no. I don't know.
No, you'll be fine.
I know enough about it, but I'm not an FXR guru. Like we're just gonna.
Neither am I.
We're gonna roll with the punches, right? And then after
to be honest with you, I don't think anybody's an FXR guru. We all like it.
Well, there's enough of them that are, or they.
I don't know. They were handing out badges for that shit or like stickers.
Fair from an outsider. I'm not that I'm an outsider, but we'll call myself an outsider right now in the FXR world. There are dudes that stand out above who you kind of should look up to or ask questions to, et cetera. And then after an FXR, we got a soft tail over there we're going to cut the neck off of.
Nice.
We're going to turn it into a chopper. D-rake St. Louis style chopper.
A breakout.
And it's a breakout with a 240 rear tire. Like, fuck it. We're going.
A twin cam breakout.
I will kind of, so you had mentioned something earlier about how about that. Obviously the idea of these performance motorcycles that you've built over the years is it makes these bikes ride better, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to give you the analogy as to why a chopper is just a different experience, right? And if you apply everything has to be perfectly this, and this, the analogy doesn't work. The same way you have a sports car and an old Mercury on air or whatever. They're different rides and they feel completely different. Right. When you're in a sports car, when you're in a Lambo or Ferrari, like you want to rip, you want to go. But when you're in that old, like the one that used to be in your garage, I think that was a Cadillac or was it a Merc? The one that was at
Dodge?
I had a Cadillac and a Dodge, but
you jump in that and you cruise it and you're like, this is a vibe, this is a feeling. And as someone that just finally rode his choppers for the first time, dude, it makes no fucking sense because it doesn't have anything. It's not that it's comfortable. It's that it feels so different and like visceral that I don't have the words yet, and I don't have enough time on the seat and I will not say that it's better than anything. It's its own experience.
I am not a chopper builder. I will never claim.
I'm not either, man.
But when I started motorcycles, I started with choppers. I had 2 hardtail Sportsters. They were not like dorky ass strut. They were full hardtail, skinny, like narrow spool front hub, narrow glide 39 millimeter, 18x3 in the rear, like chopper, skinny chopper shit. Yeah. And I rode those bikes, and I get that. Yeah, I hear you. But I think what's happened is we've turned these other bikes into these amazing touring. Like, I'm gonna ride this bitch to China and back with a smile. I don't know how I can find enjoyment in anything other than that. Yeah. Maybe until I try. And that's kind of what you've been doing.
I think for me, I got bored. Yeah, I got bored with the convenience, and there, like Steve challenged himself to ride harder, to be faster, to take it to the track. Mm-hmm. I wanted to challenge myself as the guy that can endure something that's less like practical. I don't have all the space to pack. I got to be way different in the way I think about packing. What do I really need? Can I do with less? And so it's not, everything is counterintuitive to like being better. It's the opposite. But for me, it's a different challenge.
Yeah. It's like a simpler way of life.
Yeah. And I'm not like I'm going to do for sure one cross country trip on this chopper. Mm-hmm. Dude, I've rode it one day and I've been little fucking, it's hurt. I hurt, right? But the thing is that like, I really need to have that notch in my belt.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. As someone who truly loves traveling on motorcycles, I just don't like knowing that there's something over there, like a low hanging fruit, something that I don't know if I like it or not. I just know that I want to taste it. Yeah. And I want to say that I have tried that. I have also done something substantial in that enough to have the opinion about yay or nay, Right. The FXR chop was definitely less comfortable than a Road Glider or a Lowrider ST, but it was still fast, and I could still cruise 90 miles an hour, no problem. And so it didn't slow me down the way I wanted to be slowed down.
Maybe that was like a good entry towards.
It gave me an understanding. Yeah, like, I get it more.
I can see that.
So
definitely, because that bike did turn out in the sense of like it looked like a bad mamma jamma, but it also looked like something you could get comfy and smash some miles.
It's relatively comfortable. Yeah. I mean, it's comparative, Right. I thought the Lowrider ST was way more uncomfortable than the Road Glide until I got home from a trip and jumped on the Lowrider ST from the FXR chop. I'm like, God damn, this thing is fucking nice, dude.
Well, that's just modern technology.
But like going back a little bit when you're saying like, oh, the old Merc versus sports car, like I grew up as a big car guy as well. And like I used to daily drive like old cars, back in the day. Like I had a 62 Impala bagged out, but I mean, it was my everyday car. It wasn't my car I took out on the weekends. It was the car I drove to work. I'm like, I didn't have anything else to drive. I chose for it to be like that 70 Impalas. But then I had a 68 Impala and spring break 2010, my buddies were like, hey, we're going down to Panama City Beach. I was living in Michigan, and they're like, going down to Panama City Beach. They're like, well, what are we going to drive down there? Like, we're trying to brainstorm, we're all under 21 and and I was like, we'll take my 68 Impala. And they're like, what? I was like, no, man. I was like, it'd just be a different vibe, you know, and rolled down there with a 68 Impala and 22s, freaking took it down to PCB and like, you know, out with that. And it's like, you know, sometimes life, you need that little bit of direction. And I feel like the chopper thing would be about the same feeling that I got with taking a carbureted 1960s Impala cross country with your homies.
I think perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But I think the best thing about all this is that I think we're all at this transition point where we can all figure out what's calling to us individually,
right,
in motorcycles that we want to challenge ourselves with a new build. Mm-hmm. Like whether that is on another, you know, bagger or an FXR or a Dyna or, you know, choppers, or I really think that like soft tail choppers are going to get really big. And the not that one, but like the twin cam soft tails are so cheap.
Yeah.
Dude, that might be a next big wave. And you can like, cheap bikes become customizable bikes, you know? And so I'm the most contradicting to who I was on this podcast 7 years ago. You know, it's like, hey man, like I'm at a point now where like I want something different. I want the performance bagger, the T-Sport still. I still have a T-Sport fever, a certain type of FXR, another type of FXR, and then a hardtail chopper. That's like my garage.
And an Indian.
Yeah. And like I got a buddy who's got a, you know, 82 or 83 shovel FXRT, and he tells me, he goes, dude, this is the funnest bike to ride on a 55 mile an hour road. He's like, I don't want to ride with anybody else, but he's like, but when I'm by myself and I'm just vibing and like this thing, like I'm not trying to go 90 mile an hour and keep up with anybody, but he's like, just by myself, he's like, it's the funnest fucking.
And that's the other thing about like a lot of the chopper dudes that I've met, they're not like standoffish, like, oh fuck you guys, you don't. It's like, dude, they're riding bikes that 55 to 70 is like that's the vibe. Mm-hmm. Dude, you know, on these bikes, man, 70 miles an hour, you're like stuck in that weird spot between 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I can't, my bike does not live here, right? So and then cruising on the highway, not in 6th gear, is just weird.
I don't put it in 6th gear unless I'm above 80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so, I mean, there's just like, it's a vibe thing, like with that, you know.
And like you can get that with like just, you know, how different vehicles are. And I feel like we've been doing kind of like what we've been doing for so long that it's like, you know, every once in a while you want to switch it up. Hey, you know, it's like the cat that sits at the door and wants to go outside and it makes a 10-foot outside and goes, fuck this. You know, maybe you're going to be like, oh, you'll just make it through there. And you go, no, I'm going to go back to what I am.
See, no matter what, like, I'm still going to get another modern bike because I do want one. And it serves a lot of purposes for me.
Right.
You know, like I said, just being able to jump on it and rip and go and not have to do some, you know, 20-point inspection check sheet. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of nice to have, like, you know, I got my 24 Road Glide where I'm just like, oh, well, if it wasn't cold, but if you're like, hey, let's go to California tomorrow, like, I wouldn't even think twice. I'd be like, did I change the oil? Like, should I change the oil before I leave? Should I do it out there?
Yeah. Like, I think that's my biggest standoff is like, we stay so busy here, especially like, it's 7 days a week, fucking 12, 14 hours a day, usually. And when it's time to unwind, that's the last thing we want to deal with is the 20-point checklist, you know? And so
I feel like it also kind of has a vibe on just like where you geographically are, like living, you know, like chopper, like
badass roads over here.
That, but it's like if I had a chopper, like I want to be fucking downtown, like ripping through some fucking city streets on a chopper.
Big ass potholes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'd rather be out here on these roads, just cruise, just carving these little roads, man.
Yeah, it definitely probably has something to do with where you're located, for sure. I mean, I'm not trying to go to St. Louis City and get murdered, you know.
Yeah, it is. But no, that's a good point, like you said, about like, I used to say this about dudes that want to travel. Like if you only have 2 weeks of vacation,
right,
and the trailer makes sense to go get some distance, drop the trailer and go ride.
Yeah, you have 4 of your buddies, you all load up and you drive through the night, you take a nap, and next thing you know, you're on the
Just have a sense of humor, let us call you a pussy.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, the other part for me has been, you know, like creating parts and then manufacturing parts, whether we build them by hand here or we hire them out and have them, you know, we'll do a lot of CAD drawing here and then 3D print it all, test it, and then have it cut out of billet and then test that. I can't really come up with those ideas, those parts, unless I'm riding these bikes.
Yeah.
And those bikes are modern bikes. It's the latest and the greatest.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to stay on top of that. There's not a lot of place for finding inner peace of what's going to make me happy deep down inside of that one chopper I never built, or that one modification I never did, or whatever. I've just been caught up in that for the last few years. But as time goes by, the trends are changing, and that means the customers are changing. Yeah. And so now I'm starting to kind of see that a little bit with what people are asking for. Mm-hmm. And we'll find a good balance between the two.
Yeah, I mean, you're good at staying true to like how you feel and who you are.
Fully adaptable. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna go wherever the trends take us, because I don't know anything other than this. So we gotta adapt or die. But in the meantime, it's been a really fun journey. Just trying to get to know, like, okay, what's the thing? Like, I just learned this on FXR Tour. Like, I just did my third year of FXR Tour, and I really paid attention to all the FXRs this time, of why are they welding up this hole but not this hole?
Yeah.
Right? Like those little things, because that hole is really dumb and it should be gone.
You talk about the one for the crash bar on the rear?
Bro.
The braces? Yeah.
Yeah.
You asked me on mine a long time ago.
I found an FXR with factory rear crash bars. And it bolted into the top hole up behind the triangle, which I understood. But then it literally was a tube, like it was a tube on a tube with a U-bolt, and it just clamped the crash bar to the frame. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like rubbing and paint's coming off. And it didn't make sense to me. So diving deeper on the FXR thing, which is where we're headed next on this other build back here, is trying to like pay an homage to what is right for FXRs, but also kind of doing our own little spin on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And we want to just do like old school with a little modern touch, and kind of make it like almost like a resto mod, basically. Yeah. Without going, we're not going to do an M8 like the hot rod guys would do, like an aluminum LS47 or whatever it is now. We're just going to try to keep it a little bit true, but keep it fun and new. So I think that's where the trends are headed, with this, all the things we just talked about with choppers and fabrication and scratching the itch that you never knew was there or whatever, like doing what's the latest and the greatest, but still kind of paying attention to what's been done in the past and being respectful to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where it's going to head. The thing with like Cruzy and Thrashed was cutting up soft tail choppers, or M8 soft tails, turning them into choppers. That was a cool way to do that, just to show people like, hey, we have some talent. Here's a new bike. Here's what you could do with it. Yeah. I'm about that. I think that's really cool. And I see probably some of that happening here too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be cool. And I think that's it's just like when you watch the videos with like Ryan, and like Ryan knows how to weld, he knows how to fabricate, but he was still humble enough to bring somebody in to help do things that he felt like the guy was better. Mm-hmm. The same thing with Lance, finding the guy to do the frame. I mean, that's part, sometimes being a bike builder or being the person that's, like the people in the world, like, that's not a bike builder. Just being the designer, the creative of this bike.
Knowing that you won't fail. You can't be stopped.
You have to be able to bring the right things together, that you're the producer, you're the conductor of it. And, if you have access to someone that can fabricate and do stuff like that, and you have a production going, it makes absolutely perfect sense to have the professional do the professional thing, because your job is to provide the best quality
finished product
for the customer.
Right.
Not be like, oh, well, it's all shit, but I did it by my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the latter is like somebody that's actually good at it, does it all, but lacks any vision or ability to bring together a good looking bike.
Or does one every 2 years.
had one every 12 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the things with like just growing up and growing older is like you just start to learn. You're like, hey, I can do this, but I might not be the best at it. So I can trust this person. This person is going to do exactly like what I need. And you can be more productive by, farming some stuff out every once in a while. Like some of the biggest, richest people, like they don't handle every job on the way down of a business. They go, hey, you handle this, you handle this, you handle this.
Yeah.
And we're going to create this big whole picture,
Well, the pushback is usually from people who are doing all the work, but their bikes aren't getting the attention. Right. And so the thing is like, well, I did all the work. Well, that doesn't automatically mean you deserve the attention. At the end of the day, if a bike is cool, period. You know what I mean? Like the test of time is like, put it out here. Is it sick? Is it not?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Did you nail the vision or did you not?
Yeah. And yeah, if for your personal challenges, you want to try to be responsible for more and more each time, dude, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, the customers want the best shit. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, it's different when you own a business and that's your livelihood.
Responsibility with employees and people.
Rather than just your average dude doing it in his garage. So, but yeah, I'm excited for the future. And I really do feel like we're at this turning point of, from when I first met you, like I said, we're almost on year 7 of knowing each other, all of us.
Yeah.
We're right at that point.
I met you because he got pulled over and I said, I ain't pulling over for the cops. And then I pulled in a gas station. Then you hit me up and you're like, oh, are you at this gas station? And you're like, yeah, And then you're like, oh,
did you meet him in Sturgis that year?
Yeah.
In 2019.
And it was literally when
I met you, like in person. Yeah.
Yeah. It was when you got pulled over.
Yeah.
And then me and Average Life of Bob, we ended up pulling in a gas station. He hit me up with a message. And then you go, where's Jace? I was like, I don't know. You pulled over up the road. And then you just like dipped out. And then we didn't see you till like Wynn's house that night or something.
No, we went to, that's the night when we went to, I got pulled over and then we went to Clem's house and I dropped my bike and I couldn't pick it up. And I had to pick it up. I still got that scratch bag in my shop.
And then it was like the next night. And then because Bob got a ticket and you got a ticket out there and you guys were both like holding your tickets. I didn't get a ticket.
I actually met you at Born Free Cali 19.
Oh,
you had, I thought you owned your white and silver bagger.
Oh,
at the time.
Yeah.
And I messaged you and you're like, oh no. I was like, yo, your bike's here. Where are you at? And you're like, oh, I sold that. I'm not there right now. I tried to meet you.
So 19.
It might have been 18. I don't know.
No, 19, I went to Born Free in 19. 18 was the year I missed Born Free. Because I sold it. I sold that white bagger in May to a dude that lived in Riverside. So
yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. So anyways, we're going on 10 years here. We've watched it from its infancy, tried like kind of been like at the forefront, like the gatekeeper, the trendsetter, from whatever, from the paint to the modifications to the mileage to the racing to the all of it.
I was telling someone yesterday, we were talking about the campout, right? And what it was, and they were saying something that's like, oh yeah, it was really good for FXR. I was like, no. The campout was really good for the performance bagger community. That first year you came down and I met you, it set a tone. And then every year it was like the performance bagger meet and greet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you started showing up and my machinist and then Craig and fucking all the dudes on the East Coast and then, like 2 people on the West Coast the entire time. But it's like, dude, but it became that. It gets to a point where like the baggers that were at the campout that were riding their bikes to the campout, getting rained on, riding on the campsite, and then ripping the Talamina. Like to me, that was the part of performance baggers that I was in love with. Because, and I mean, a lot of the reason why I wanted to end the camp out was when it started trending towards more and more people getting RVs and houses, and you get these groups of people riding across the country, and they're going through the beginning of the camp out, seeing all these little individual parties at RVs instead of the one by the fire where we would all be
like,
like, oh, wait, it's the fucking dudes from Boston, coming through. And you're just like, as soon as they park, you're getting a beer in their face.
Yeah,
like, that was an
I made
experience.
it the first camp out. And I made the last camp out. There was almost 1 year that I missed, and you were very disappointed in me because it was like, Kyle had a.
Was that the year you spent like 6 hours there and then went back home?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
it
did
was-
like an overnight run.
Dude, it's like I had that 03, that
Thank you for
purple
your
wheel 03, and I was waiting on parts. You had a whole meetup with people in St. Louis, and you guys were riding down there. And I'm like, I'm still waiting on parts. And then I had a race in Utah the weekend after.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I put a post out there. I'm like, I ain't going to be able to make it happen. Dude, parts came in, that lift right there, I ended up getting it. And then it was about 11 p.m. at night. And I was like, all right. I was like, if I don't leave now, like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
So I literally, I took the bike, half mile up the road, turned around, 2 miles up the road, turned around, came back. I was like, feels good. I walk inside, I grabbed clothes, I shoved them in the bag, and I took off. And I made it to middle Arkansas till 2:30.
And got pulled over.
We got pulled over anyway for Baja headlight. And then woke up, enjoyed my way in the next day, rode down the Talamina, rolled in the camp out. Everybody's around the fire like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then, had a good time. And then the next day, next morning, whatever is that. And I just woke up and I was like, all right, I should probably head back. I guess I have a race in Utah the next weekend. I made it here, check.
Yeah.
And then I came back
Texas
and I
happy.
finished my bike and then whatever. But the early campouts, dude, they were a vibe.
Yeah.
The very first camp out when you were just talking about that, I came down from Michigan to the camp out, I think it was 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And then, I came down freaking,
I still remember you leaving, dude, and we just listened to you go through the gears through the canyon there.
Yeah.
And
Well, just me
it's
showing
fucking
up.
sick, dude.
Dude, I showed up to the first camp out at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and there was 3 or 4 people up by the fire. Everybody else was already drunk and passed out. And they're like, who are you? I'm like, I don't know. And one guy's holding a flashlight while I set up my tent. And then the next day we went out and rode. And I still remember sitting in I was done at the end of the day, the next night. I go in my tent and I'm just laying there. And then Joe Kidd and FXR Mike ended up walking around. They're like, what the fuck is this bike? Looking at Road Glider inverted front. They're like, I don't know, but I heard he rides pretty good. This thing, oh, I guess that's pretty badass. And that to me was
Yeah.
high,
But that's what it was, man. And then all the Smoky Mountain stuff. Yeah, I need another one of those. The Smoky Mountain stuff, it just got big. The whole thing, the whole scene has gotten so much bigger than
dude.
our
There's
part of it.
there's so many events, because even back in the day, we had our events and our stuff that we were creating. Your camp out, I did the up north camp out, and just next thing you know, it's Smoky Mountain whatever, Smoky Mountain V-Twin Visionary whatever thing, and then it became a whole week, and then people are showing up a couple days before and that, and it's there's so many events and we can't juggle it all. It's you got to be homeless and rich just to make everything happen. Nowadays, there's so much that we can do.
Yeah, I
It
just
was everything had a smaller vibe.
I'm content with what I got to experience in a good way, but also okay with that chapter being closed.
Yeah, it was great. I met some of the coolest people in my life with some of the most random trips that I just made happen, sleeping on someone's couch or, putting it up in a tent, I wouldn't trade that shit for the world.
That 2019 when we all got together for the first time in Sturgis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that year.
Photos of you and your ass hanging out.
Yeah, because I met up with you and on the way because you were coming from Texas.
Yeah, we
I
met
was
in,
coming from
Omaha.
Michigan, and then you're like, meet me in Omaha. So we met in Omaha, did that podcast at Spaz Cycle, then rolled in there the next day and shit.
I don't know. I'm so glad I got to experience that. You know what I mean? Because it was the first bike scene that I felt like I was kind of it was my generation's. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I'm stoked to where it's at. Seeing the rate. We were talking at dinner tonight. Seeing the MotoGP is going to have the exhibition with the Harleys on there and stuff. That shit's cool. seeing the people that drive through my small ass town on my suburb of Dallas that have these bikes that I could see their parts, and they have the t-shirts of the people that I know that I have no idea who this fucking person is. You know what I mean? Like, it's so big that it's like people are finding it in all these other channels now, and it's rad. It really is rad.
Yeah. Dude,
but it does feel weird.
But like,
I was
in Sturgis 2019, Sturgis 2020. Like, if you were on a bagger with T-bars and like you see the other bagger with T-bars, you point it over and you're like, "That's my guy. Like, that's my dude. Like, I don't know who you are, but we're now friends. That's just how this works."
Yeah, it was a thing. It was cool to be a part of it.
Yeah,
I was about to say I was at SEMA last week, and I've seen at least 4 Forever Rad t-shirts walking around SEMA.
Oh, that's sick. Hell yeah.
Mind blowing. You know, like we're at a car event, and there's people that get it. People that know who we are and know that we were a part of this.
Yeah.
They're car people, they're bike people, whatever. You know, it's cool. So.
Yeah, I like words. I mean, I like I said, I don't hate it. It's just like when I talk to people, I was like, you should understand that. Like, I'm still processing how I feel about it.
Yeah,
good or bad, I don't know, but I do enjoy it. I do enjoy where it's going, but I still have. I mean, just let me have my like feelings towards this. Like it's uniquely different to have been a part of something like this and then see it kind of evolve in the direction. Not that it's a bad direction. It's just like I said,
like
it's different.
I would love for the people, you know, if they're just coming into it with, you know, the baggers and doing that thing, to experience the shit that we did, you know, where you go get with your homies and you're like, hey, we're going to do this cross country trip. But when we get to these twisty roads, we're going to have a fucking blast.
Yeah.
Like, these bikes are set up that, you know, when we're in this valley this, you know, mountain pass in Colorado, that we're going to nail it down, even though we're loaded down and it's going to be it. And then, you know, get a hotel room that night and, you know, you're at a party. And then the next day you're like, hey, we're going to smash more a couple hundred miles and we're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
Like, as long as people are still experiencing that part of it, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what it's about to me. Like,
it is. That's why it made so much sense. You have the best riding machines that can tour on it. And so you can ride with your shit on it to the spot you want to go and then go enjoy the experience. You know? So, I don't know. It's cool where it's going.
Yeah. You know, no gatekeeping or anything. Like, I got to experience it very early on. Yeah. So, like, if there's anything to be jealous about, it's like, shit, I've been doing this for years. Like,
I got to ride a performance bagger in the 2010s.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is like I've met people that in the bike industry or bike scene or whatever like level you want to call it, and that are like people now in it. You know, whether they have small brands or influencers or whatever, and you talk to them like. I think about these things we're talking about, like that Camp Out 1 or 2019, 2020, which I think was like 2020 and 2021 was like peak performance bagger.
Yeah. Like
our small group of people we all knew. And I think like there's people that I'm meeting now that are just now getting into, like they didn't get their first bike till 2021.
Yeah.
You know, and they have big YouTube channels. You know what I mean? And I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying like I forget that it was 5 years ago. It was 7 years ago. You know, like you were saying a while ago. Because it doesn't feel that long. You know, it feels like, you know, we've told the story to nauseam, but it feels like 7 years ago. Or no, 2020, when I come and do the podcast with you for the first time at your house in Illinois, then rip up and get a 131 put in my bike, then take a ferry across to go meet this dude on the other side who's waiting with, let's go. And then we rip to fucking Grand Rapids and party. And then, hey, I think we should go to New York tomorrow.
You're putting up your phone like you're saying that to me, like whatever. But it's you calling Britta to be like, hey, I think I'm going to take a detour. And like, Steve really wants to go to Indian Larry Block party. Is that okay?
It's funny.
It just hit. It was just, I don't know, man. I'm very thankful for all that. It was fun.
It was best of times. Still is.
Yeah, and we got more shit in it, you know.
You were talking earlier, you're like, fuck, I feel like this is the least amount of riding I've done this year. And I'm kind of on the same boat, but then I also looked at the odometer on, you know, my gray bike and I'm like, shit, I still smashed like 10 or 11,000 miles this year.
Yeah,
like most people like won't do that in like fucking 6 years. You know, like
I was feeling guilty about the new Chieftain that I built because I just hit 6,000, I think. But I have another one that I've already did another 5,000 on that one.
Y'all both got me beat like a motherfucker, dude. I think that my mileage this year is the only trip I did is from here to California and back, and that was like, and it was a straight shot. Like I was 20, like 10 there, 8 back.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think my mileage this year is probably sub 5,000. And my average was probably about 25,000 for the last year.
I ran a good solid 20,000, 15 to 20,000 a year for Ender.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me being 11, I'm definitely down. But
You've also seen almost every state already. So
yeah, but
you're good.
I want to see it every year.
right.
I mean, let's go. What are we waiting for? So I think that what I'm taking from this conversation is Steve is going to be 36 in 2 days.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
By the time you listen to this, I'll already be 36.
Old ass.
Happy belated birthday.
Old ass motherfucker. But you and I, we're in our 40s.
Yeah.
Early 40s.
Early still.
But we got kids, they're grown, all that. And what I'm have been focusing on this year is what's next for my kids. You know, so we've been pushing that on the kids lately, my 2 sons.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to view motorcycling in a different way, rather than what's the next trend, what am I going to build next. I'm actually like trying to find ways to like, how do I get my kids involved with this? How do I keep finding happiness and like teaching them the ways?
Yeah.
You had 2 big milestones with that this year, and you know, like Sturgis, you know, you did a big trip with your kid out there, and then, you know, not to quickly jump over that and we'll go back to it, but like FXR tour, your other kid like rode the whole FXR tour with you.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily trying to like turn everything onto my attention, but like what we were talking about with like the Forge bikes, Springle's bike, the Nerd Glide. We started talking about Homie's Softail. We built Homie's Softail, brought it to Daytona. That thing was amazing, and he got his bike in Sturgis this year. So Sturgis was our big milestone. Yeah, you know, we had our Forge bike there, and we brought the whole team, whether they're blood or not blood. Like our team was there. We had like 12 people in the house, rented a house, and our son rode with. And he was 18 years old, and he rode a really sick Softail that we put together, and he rode up there with us. He spent the whole Sturgis with us. We took him out to all the shows, all the events, got to meet the people. He went to the parties, all of it. And then for some reason, that trip like disintegrated.
It was a shit show.
My old lady got sick, had to go home early. Somebody wrecked. Couldn't walk. Another person hit a deer, decided to go home. Steve got sick, had to take 3 days off. Like the whole trip fell apart.
Yeah.
And at the end of this 12-day trip, a truck blew up in there too. During this whole trip, at the end of it, it was me and my son. And I was like, well, I guess we can go home or we can go ride motorcycles. What do you want to do? Fuck it. You don't get a choice. We're going to ride motorcycles. So me and my son, we took off and we headed out west, did a big old loop out west. I've done it twice in the past, but, once in the past. And we went and did Beartooth and Bighorn and Yellowstone and Utah and Moab and Colorado and $1 Million Highway, all that. We did a 1K in a day together.
Damn.
4,000 miles, me and my kid. For like, we left on Saturday, got home Friday. It's like 5 or 6 days. And then that led to like, shit, maybe there's more to motorcycles for me.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe it's more than just the 2019 trip. That was so epic, or the Smokies trips that were so good, or whatever. And so it's kind of got me looking in a different way. And then this year I went and did FXR tour with Steve, and I looked at my 14-year-old, who's my other son, and I said, hey, you want to do FXR tour? And he's like, can I skip school? And I was like, yep. And he's like, okay. So we went and rode 1,000 miles with my 14-year-old. And he was the only 2-up passenger ever for the whole tour. And he was the youngest to do the whole FXR tour. And he had a blast. We took my 14-year-old to the Cat's Lounge.
We had him in a bar.
We took him to the bars.
Casino.
Took him to a casino. He was around fucking Jetty, who was gambling in the parking lot. He was around a bunch of potheads. He got to watch bikes blow up. He got to watch people crash. He unfortunately got to watch somebody lose their life. Like it was the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Yeah. And our buddy Mikey said that in his Instagram post. And looking back on it, it was the worst time of my life, but it was the best time of my life. Yeah. And I got to experience that with my son, and so now it's like, where do we go from here? Yeah. I don't want to push him too hard, but I'm also like, well, how is he going to say no moving forward? So now I'm like, how do I pass that torch and get them more involved and get them to like understand like, hey, this is why your dad's been doing what he's been doing his whole life, Yeah. So that's been a special thing for me this year too. I didn't plan on it. It just kind of happened. Yeah. But it all happened in 1 year. That's been a really fun thing. And now I'm focused on the future. That involves my whole family. Yeah. And not just my immediate family, but the whole team, Steve, Springle, our dude, Matt's a antisocial guy, but a huge part of this team. Our crew, like there's so much for the future. We're so busy. There's so much coming. So now we're trying to put all of our heads together and do all this together. And it's been super cool. Like, cause where I started. Yeah. You said a good point. I think what we've all kind of talked about tonight is essentially that we've all got to have this thing together where we kind of, found this style of motorcycle and it brought a lot of us together and, but we're all just growing up. Well, and you look at what one thing provided. Yeah. Right. And it's like a lifetime friendship, lifetime of friendships and relationships. The best way to look at this is like, it's not that the performance bagger has to be what I ride every day or you ride every day or you every day for us to be friends. Mm-hmm. Right. It's like, man, we found each other doing this cool shit. And then you go racing, you're building bikes and your family's growing up and getting here now. I mean, when y'all first, your son, your 14-year-old was little whenever I first met him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so like your kids are growing up and your wife is involved heavily into the brand now. And, you're definitely going to be like swayed to do things and make decisions that are going to be beneficial for the entire, clan now. Right. I'm going my path, everybody, everybody's doing their thing, but I think that the best way for us all to be, and I'm trying to be this way, and I think everybody else is as well, is just stoked for each other. Yeah, still doing podcasts to like, hey man, like we are going to reminisce about what we did a long time ago. Not saying we won't do anything else later, right? But like it's a special time. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all
just watching all of us grow. Like when I first met you, like there was no screaming, speeding, fab. Doing that. Like that stuff came out after the fact, and and still, whatever, 6 years later, still doing it. Yeah. And now up here with Forever Rad and, watching him grow. Like, I've been here for 3.5, coming up on 4 years. 4 years. Like fucking watching this and helping him do his shit and he's helping me do my shit. Fucking, grow together. This place is like literally one of the raddest bike shops, right? But I would love to have had your shop at your old house.
It was dope,
the
right?
Garage in the back, perfect size.
Bro, imagine like you spent some time there. Yeah. And then imagine if you own that. Yeah. And then you stepped into this.
There's just so much space. I mean, you filled it up nicely, but
I'm at the point of putting another building up. Yeah. Like we're at that point. You look around this shop, I'm not going to start counting, but like rough count, 18 bikes in here right now.
Yeah.
There's 5 more coming in the next week. And I'm bursting at the seam. And I'm like, I need more shelves.
And it's not like just bikes needing like small, tiny, like
no, these are
little things. Like
big,
these are full builds. Like
these are heavily involved projects, right? I literally have, we didn't talk enough about Indians tonight.
Yes.
But there's a 2025 Indian with 2 miles on it right there. Right? And it's balls to the walls, open budget, do your thing, knock it out of the park. And I got another one coming on Saturday.
That's wild.
And it's so humbling. Hard work pays, and we're focused. And now we're like, where do we head from here? Maybe we need another building. Maybe we need to, I'm starting to look at the bigger picture, but not go too far because
start like looking at Pinterest and Instagram on the Japanese shops.
Yeah,
because the way they take small spaces and make it real big, so you'll learn how to like condense things down and figure out how to work in less.
Well, there's ways, but even another building just to take some of our finished bikes. I mean, grand.
I don't like work on a bike on the ground.
Well, we have room for more lifts. We could get more lifts, no problem. But we have like 6 or 7 bikes in here that are finished. That just need to get the hell out. Go sit over there. Go sit over there and look pretty, and we can stay more productive.
Yeah.
So we're kind of entertaining that. Meanwhile, we've expanded upstairs. Not a lot of
going on up there in the top. Isn't it like this entire
the whole area?
Yeah, it's the whole building upstairs. It's 50 by 75. And then it's a little narrow at the sides because of the people. Yeah, but we have a full office. It's probably 20 by 20, 20 by 30. It's big, roughly, maybe a little smaller. But then the whole length is storage. So it's OEM takeoffs. It's FTR front fenders. It's things we're going to need in the future. To make money, you have to, in the parts game, to make money, you got to spend more up front to make more in the long run. So it's about bigger purchase orders, ordering in quantities, and then that leads to needing warehouse space. So it's instead of ordering, we'll move 5 air cleaners for S&S for Indian Challengers every week. So instead of ordering 5, we're ordering 10. Then once you sell 5, you got 5 left, you order 10 more. By the time they show up, you're back down to 5. So it's like this constant in and out. It's this influx of spending money to make money, to keep spending money, to keep making money. And we're doing that now with all these collaborations with S&S, with HPI, with Saddleman, with Santoro, with Hoffman Designs, all the biggest and the best names in the industry, who we've been, excuse my language, we've been fucking with since 2016, 2017, right when we all met each other. They were the founders of what they created, and we got on right away with them, and we've been with them this whole time. So we've been like doubling down with them. HPI is like super special. How many times does Steve say Jimmy tuned his motor today? 5 different motors. Jimmy's tuned it every fucking time because that's our dude. So it was a no-brainer. Like let's do something with HPI, and that's going to be our next drop probably in the next couple of weeks here. We're bringing Indian HPI pipes. Like what? Nobody can do that besides what we're doing. So it's cool, man. It's super humbling. All the meanwhile building Harleys at the same time, like some of the sickest Harleys out there. So we're pumped and excited for the future. So I don't know.
Nothing's off limits.
Yeah, there's a lot, I mean, we didn't touch a lot on some of the Indian stuff tonight or some of the potential Harley stuff in the future as well, whether it's me, you, both of us. Steve has a lot of Harley interest as well. So, I mean, I think people from the corporations are starting to finally open their eyes a little bit, pay attention to what actually sells, people that actually ride, people that actually work on them, have outreach, have experience. You know, they're starting to lean on dudes like us, and that's going to open some doors
for sure. Yeah.
You know, so we'll see where that takes us. And we're just going to continue doing what makes us happy. As long as we're happy, that's what matters. So
I'm happy.
Exactly. That's what matters. So, I mean, like 2 years ago, you're like, I'm going to quit painting.
I still want to quit painting.
I'm only going to podcast. And I'm like, Jace, you're too good at painting to quit painting.
I'm just, well, if it wasn't killing me slowly, it'd be funner, but no.
You got to put your mask on.
You got to bring back fucking True Fire.
Bring back True Fire.
It'll bring this whole thing.
True Fire is the answer.
You're going to spray some little stencil lines. You're going to be like, man, I love this shit.
We'll see. I am excited to get in the shop. I mean, I have, it's been like a couple of weeks of shows and events.
You've been in the shop, bro. You've been crushing it.
Yeah. It was 4 months of solid in the shop. And now I'm ready to, you know, the thing is like you're in the shop and then you're building something. You're also recording it. So you have to go like edit the YouTube videos. I have a whole, like everything on the entire chopper build. Like I have it all recorded. For, you know, a series of YouTube videos. And
cool. That'll be fun to watch.
It's like, it's, I think sometimes people probably may look at operations they see on Instagram and they think it's a lot of people. And I don't want to downplay the help that I have from friends that come in and help me here and there, like run the podcast or, you know, my buddy Hazmat Designs that helps me with like certain projects around the shop. But for the most part, it's me by myself every day. Working 12 hours ish on paint work, going home and for another 5 or 6 hours working, editing videos and editing that shit, then sketching paint jobs.
Absolutely.
And then, you know,
dude, that self-motivation on those things is a fucking real thing. Like when it's just you sitting there, you're like, all right, cool. I know all this stuff I have to do, but then just to get yourself,
it's like that one. It's like they say that you know the first thing you do wake up in the morning, just make your bed. It's like those. When I have a procrastination problem, I start trying to find the simplest things I can do to just solve something, figure something, and then that gets the ball rolling. But like, you know, the thing about like cutting the videos and making all that stuff, man, like it's when you get out of practice, and you could probably attest to this, it's like to get back on that hamster wheel to do it, it's kind of a lot. Sometimes I have to go watch my old videos to remember that I know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because like that's a big thing. Like, you know, everybody knows me. Like I was doing YouTube and all that stuff, like decently successful. But then it was just like, you know, on top of, you know, trying to run my business, helping him and doing this and doing racing. Like I had so many opportunities where it'd be great if I filmed it like all the way through. But it's just that one extra aspect that I was like, dude, like, I don't know if I can do this too. Yeah. You know, because people are like, oh, it's just, you know, just film it and just post it. And like, you're like, you don't know how much time you put into editing. Like fucking, like when you actually go and do it and you're like, that 30-minute video that you watched, I watched it 6 times making this video.
Yeah.
You know, that's just 3 hours of watch time on top of a couple hours of editing. Like, you don't think it's that big of a deal, but like, I tell people, I'm like, hey, you think like whatever, like go make me a 5-minute video just to entertain me to the end.
I would talk a little shit here and I'd say, go watch anybody making videos every week and tell me it's worth your time. Because there's videos coming out every week that are 30 minutes long, 45 minutes long, and I'm just looking for something interesting to happen. And it's like, just fuck, like the algorithm wants you to put it out.
Yeah.
It's like, I would rather wait and see your shop tour video or the video with y'all's son when y'all did the bike.
Yeah,
those things are what, like, I just don't fucking waste my time. You know, I want to support you.
I'm so over fucking clickbait.
Yeah.
I'm so over it.
It's been really difficult. You know, we started a YouTube channel at the beginning of the year and we did really good with it, but we're not filming it. We're not editing it.
Yeah.
I'm paying someone. And so in the same respect of what the effort takes, right? Like what you guys know that I don't know, because I don't do that. All that amounts to me is this much money.
Yeah.
Every single time, every single month. Now it's an expense. Can I afford it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I got bills to pay. I shouldn't do a video this month. And here I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, should I pay my staff or should I make another video?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm a fucking hustler, dude. I'm going to survive. And so are my people. And I've slowed it down on the YouTube stuff, and I'm not going to quit.
Yeah.
Definitely not going to quit. But it's also like what you just said. Like, I know what you just said. I know why you said it.
Yeah.
I'm at the same point. Like, I love all the dudes that I watch on YouTube, and I'm not going to belittle any single one of them, but like, I don't need to see the same thing over and over every single week. So, but trying to find that balance of what's fresh and new, even if we just keep doing what we've been doing, I still am like my own biggest critic. I'm like, I don't feel like this is what people want to see.
Yeah. Do you want to see it? That's the problem. If you don't feel like you enjoyed watching that, I know it's subjective because it's yourself or your brand or your whatever, but I mean, you just know, like I feel very good about every video I've made this year because I feel like there's nothing that's that boring, and if you actually pay attention to the whole thing, there's comedy in it. There's some tidbits of information, like there's shit in it, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel like I watch a lot of videos where I'm like I don't want to say I'm doing too much. I need to do less because nobody else is doing this much, right? But that's counterproductive. I'd rather just continue to uphold my standard that I want for myself, and try to. I mean, I put out more videos this year than I did the year I started doing the videos, which was 23. I only put out like one video in 24, and I wanted to get back into it this year. I kind of did, but I understand how to do it like efficiently now. But I have a couple of videos that I recorded that I didn't record it efficiently. Right. They're bottlenecks to get past.
The worst part about this conversation, in my opinion, is my shit is over the top, cinematic, the right lighting, the right editing.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie. Yours is kind of a step below that. It's very much self-filmed, but very well thought out, very much to the point. It's going to be from this point to this point, and it's going to hit all the topics. Where his stuff was 100%, hey guys, I'm S. Chamberlin 5150, straight vlog status.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. Yet here we are, 3 different styles, and we're all still battling ourselves. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
What I realized, and I'll give you my take on my stuff. So the first 2 videos I put out this year was a recap video of 24 and a shop tour video. In the shop tour video, I used my big cameras and lighting and tried to make it look good and tried to have tried to be a guy on camera. And I'm not really good at that, but I am good at just like, I'm better at just like kind of riffing, but trying to do it with a subject in mind. We're going to Born Free. Hey guys, we're leaving Born Free, or I'm doing my trip to California, those kind of things. If I just record the whole time, I'll have a video when it's done, and it's so fast and easy to edit, as opposed to when I was making like my shop tour video. I'm trying to think what's important to put in here about my past so that it's not too much information, but it's enough to kind of give you a gist of where I came from.
Right.
And to get to the point and show you around as to why I put the toolbox there and this there.
But that would be more of the vlog status video. Pretty much just rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
And that's what Steve did.
Yeah.
And that's really what I feel like worked the best. Like it's something people can relate to a little bit more.
You got to do things that are repeatable.
Yeah, I had it like when I was doing it, like as I was recording, I was editing the video in my head. So I go, all right, cool. So if I over record.
When you first built the bike and it was the blue, that build process, and then riding up to Laconia and the wreck and all, like that whole phase was, that shit was all inspiring because you were doing it and you were knocking it out and getting it done every month.
Yeah, and it was like, as I was recording it, like I was literally editing it in my head because I was like, I'm the guy that's got to edit this. So like, as I take stuff down, I go, all right, somebody needs to know. And I'm like, I'm building the video in my head.
Yeah.
as I'm, literally spitballing it out. So like when it came time to edit it, it was like, all right,
pretty quick.
And then the part where I really fell apart on it was when I started trying to add like GoPro footage to it. So I was trying to get the riding footage, but then it was like adding GoPro to it. And then it turned into like, all right, get the footage off the GoPro, go through it. If you have 360, you got to edit it. Now I have this clip, and that was 4 steps where before it was like, I just grabbed my camera and I just made it happen. And then I got myself where I was trying to elevate it, but then it became just too much. And then I was like, and then you just get overwhelmed and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, people gotta understand it. Like YouTube video, like even like mine that when they do well, there's not money on it to the point where it's like this justifies it.
Yeah.
Bro, I have a YouTube short with 5 million views. I made like nothing worth talking to the camera about. Seriously, like that's retarded.
Yeah.
And that was getting lucky one time.
Yeah.
It wasn't consistent.
You don't do it for like, it's so like far-fetched on with it, the money of the actual ad revenue. Like I first started making money on YouTube in 2009 because I posted a video of me banging a wheelie on a V-Rod, whatever, and a bunch of people watched it. But there's so much other back avenues that it like works out in.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to just figure out that it's worth it when you don't see the monetary value.
It's the slow drip of the dude who has the website. I'm a good example of that. You go to Daytona. Hey man, like one dude pulls you aside. I love watching your YouTube videos. And I'm like, oh shit, you watch my YouTube? Cool. That's sick. Thank you. Did you buy parts from me? Oh, no. But meanwhile, there might be some dude that bought all of his parts from me because
he showed his YouTube to his homie,
right?
And your YouTube to his homie, and he goes, "Oh shit! Like I'm gonna support that." So it's like,
it's that chance.
We're our own worst enemy with this whole fucking content.
You just gotta like make sure that you're doing something because you want to do it. Yeah, like you said, you're not doing it for the money, but you're doing it. Like I feel like I have a unique.
You have something to show the people.
Yeah.
So do we.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's why we want to put it out there. Just to be like, hey, check it out. I'm not the average dude doing the average shit.
Yeah.
If you want to pay attention to it, here's your glimpse into it. But when it starts to cost too much money or too much time, which equals money, then it's like,
it's hard to justify.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
It's the first thing to cut out. You go, it stressed me out. Fuck it,
Yeah.
And it sucks to say. It's like I really enjoyed doing the YouTube when I did it.
My goal, one of my biggest goals for next year is literally to have that figured out to be consistent enough. Like I'm not promising some ridiculous amount of videos every month or week. I just want to be consistent enough to where when I know I have something to show, I can record it, get it out, and I have a backlog. I want to get past that. I want to get that done.
Right.
I want to pay my debts with that shit. And then come next year, we're starting a bike build. We're recording parts. We put a video out about that. We do the polar ride. Now we have another video. We do this. We do that. So it just kind of flows. And I can have the experience and go straight to editing. And the way I record now is I'm mindful of like, okay, I got this, I got that. And I can just kind of roll it right into it, and not get bottlenecked or overwhelmed with all the things.
Yeah.
Because it isn't like I'm not making a YouTube channel because I think I'm going to be Mr. Beast, right?
Making money off of it.
Yeah.
And that's
if they can drive attention towards the other things I do.
It's fun to just put the shit out there and be like, look what I can do.
I like the creative outlet.
The content is fun for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that the big thing between that with the 3 specific people sitting here is that we're not just trying to make money on YouTube. Like we're able to paint some shit, build some shit, ride some shit, whatever. Like there's a lot of different, we're not just going to be YouTube stars. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to expand the audience.
Artists building fucking motorcycles.
Yeah, exactly.
We just have something to show, like you said. So
exactly. There is something to show. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to talk about with Indians? Because I feel like you shit the bed this time.
No, I didn't want to bring any of it up. I don't know. I want to make sure the camera's still recording, to be honest with you.
You better go check.
Fuck hell. You're out of battery?
Oh yeah, we're still good.
Oh, we're good.
What time are we at?
2:29.
Let's talk about Indians for 10
Let me go
minutes.
pee real quick, and then we'll talk about Indians.
Okay, we're going to talk about Indians.
All right. Well, you got to carry this conversation because I wasn't ready for him to go take a piss. So
Well,
rode
they're
an
going to
Indian.
hear me pissing with my microphones.
You rode an Indian.
that's why I pulled mine off earlier when I took a piss.
You rode an Indian for a year.
Yeah.
Would you ride another one?
Yeah. I didn't have a bunch of people ask me because, like, you know, we got those Challengers through Music City and everything. And, you know, I rocked one for a year. And a bunch of people, like, asked me, and, like, because it just kind of went away. So, like, you know, whatever. And I liked the bike. My biggest gripe with it was a 2023. So between the 2022 model and the 2023, they changed the ECM on it, which you know, but they don't.
Right.
We couldn't properly tune the bike. And then it had little weird like throttle sensitivity issues and like couldn't get over it. So I guess I just kind of gave up on the platform a little early because I was a little frustrated. But dude, I put, 15,000 miles on that bike. In the corners, great. We did the little lift. Like I never even got to experience
Cartridges,
the front
shock.
cartridges.
Yep.
The rear shock was always good. The front was a little soft, light on the rebound. Chassis wise, it felt great. The Indian really needs to work on the footboard systems and the levers. I know Kraus has, their stuff that they came out with, but I'm a tall guy and I was still like, I didn't like the amount of stretch that you had on it. We did the T-bars and the pullback plate, which was, when I had that set up, it was great. Brakes, front end, like they're great bikes, so I don't like to talk shit on the Indian. I had a year of experience in it. But there was just a couple little gripes and, at the time, so now you can tune to 2023, so it's not an issue. So that can, be worked out. I still feel like, I don't know, should we say this on podcast, but like be a product that just completely redesign the floorboard setup because it sucks.
Maybe that's what we should do next.
I've had that idea in my mind for a while, but I'm just like, all right, cool. Like,
all right,
can I make it happen?
Coming next to foreverrad.com, new floorboard setup for Steve Chamberlin.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the Indian? Because let's talk about it. You went to Vegas. The Indian invited you out there. You got to ride all the new bikes.
Because you are an influencer.
Big influencer.
Come on, dude.
Big shopper guy.
First off, I thought it was a joke that they actually invited me. I didn't respond to the first email. And I did see it was Adam that was responding to me. I was like, I don't know if he knows this about me, but I'm not interested. And then he emailed again. He was persistent. And then I was like, I feel like, man, I finally have an audience, even though it's not the way I wanted an audience with Harley, but I have an audience with Harley. So I sent my contact with Harley, hey, look, Indian's reaching out and wanted to send me out. And I feel like it's a great opportunity to go try this bike out. I feel like I should take it, but I don't want to ruin any progress we've made. And he's like, don't worry about it. A lot of our influencers go out and do the test rides for Indian and stuff. I was like, all right, I want you coming back next week and being like, oh, well, fuck that guy, right? But first off, the thing about it is the experience of the way they treated everybody and bringing them out and brand amp. That was badass. I've never experienced something like that. Riding the bike, it is a motorcycle. It does feel different than Harley. It's the first time I rode a water-cooled B-twin, right? That was different. I don't have anything to compare it to other than itself.
Right.
Right. It is like that one did have a wider bar stance. It was, like you gotta say, like, that's the first gauge bike I've ridden. I've been riding bikes with no fucking gauges for like a year. And so it's like, God damn, this is a lot of information.
Right.
It's like locking the front brake when I stop so it doesn't roll down a hill. Like I was like, that's kind of convenient. But I think that like ultimately, I didn't have enough time on a bike to say that it's sick, it's this, it's that. It fucking rips. It rides, it stops, it handles. When I rode the Challenger, we got in front of the pack and we were riding the Valley of Fire, and it was just like rev limiter the whole time, just all big sweepers, right? And it was sick. And I think that the one thing that I recorded this entire experience, right, to make a YouTube video about it. And I just, in my head, I'm like, I like the bike, but I just don't think I'd walk into an Indian dealership.
Fair.
And I kept saying, like,
Is it because they're memorabilia?
no, it's not. I think it's because I'm from a different world. Like, I customize motorcycles. Mm-hmm. And so and this might sound super pretentious, and I'm sorry, but like, I'm like, well, I'm not going to walk into a dealership and buy one of these and do all the things I know how to do to it to fix it up when I don't know that I want one. If I'm going to invest my own money into something, I want to make sure it's something I want. And I want to make sure that if it's something I can resell, if it's done.
Fair.
And I don't know what the resale market is on Indian Challengers. So there's just a lot of things that I think that my opinion, and ultimately why I never put a video out, is I don't think I had a valid opinion. But I will say that because I rode one, and because I now can say that I've actually tried it, then I can't talk shit about the bike and say it's a piece of shit, because it's not. Right?
That's yeah. This is the best thing you could say, probably. I'm with you on the dealership thing. A lot of them are multi-owned by a lot of different brands, so none of them are 100% Indian.
Jet ski or
yeah, even our dude at Music City was like, hey, like Indians, they sell, but we can do more. And he brought a different company on, and he's killing it with that company. So it's like, yeah, it's a different thing.
So I think that there was a lot of confusion that people hearing about the buyout or the sell, not buyout, them selling the brand, that they thought it was a desperation sell as opposed to a free up money sell. Right.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't say too much on it. It's a little too soon. I know a lot more than the average guy does at this point.
I think Blockhead did a video on it that was pretty spot on with what was going on.
I haven't watched it. I should.
Yeah.
I will. But I think that right now with Polaris owning Indian, they, I believe, are going to focus more on the off-road side, because they really made a name for themselves in off-road. Mm-hmm. And I think over the last 10 years, there's been competition, and maybe they're falling a little bit behind, and they need to catch back up to that.
They needed the capital to be able to reinvest in.
They probably viewed it as, hey, we revived this Indian motorcycle thing. We put it back on the map.
They still have ownership of it.
They do.
Yeah.
It's doing really. Indian in itself is doing well, but I think Polaris probably wants to focus more on themselves a little bit. But Indian is doing well enough to where Polaris is almost like, it's like kind of like raising your kid. It's like, all right, go on, do your thing, see if you're gonna make it or break it, you know. And the new owners of it, they're excited, they're open to ideas. And I think there's going to be probably a whole new face for Indian motorcycle moving forward. I think it's going to be a little bit more raw, a little bit more gritty, more biker, rather than whatever the public has been viewing it as.
That's one of the things I had said to one of the guys there when I was on the deal. I was like, I feel like a lot of people that are in this space between Harley and Indian are buying based on like the culture that they're accepting. No man will ever admit that, but they do, like, oh, if I buy this bike, I like the tall sock boys. You know what I mean? I want to be in that world.
Your average motorcycle rider is a weekend rider, not a long haul rider. He's not a daily rider. So he's the guy that wants to put on the costume for the weekend. That's the truth.
So I think that, the one thing the Indian, which I will say in Sturgis this year, I saw a lot of challenges this year, a lot more. It felt like the performance bagger thing we were talking about. We're like, oh, there's like 3 of us. Now there's a bunch.
There's packs of Indian challengers.
And so I think that there may be some kind of devoted effort to create some Indian specific events. If they're not already, I haven't heard about any of them. So, whatever. But those kind of things to create some kind of tribal bond with the owners.
They definitely do their own events. but it's not based on the customization or the aftermarket support. In the sense of like Harley will back Mama Tried or Born Free or et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I think we might see a shift in that with the new owners of it.
Because we have to get into the cultural side, because think about all the Indian owners who want to go be a part of this American motorcycle, lifestyle, traditional stuff, and they don't see representation of their brand anywhere. So there's like an identity, kind of like your dad left home and to get cigarettes and never came back.
Fair. I mean, we're at the forefront of it. Definitely.
Agreed. And everything I'm saying right now, I think is not to be harsh. It's just like, these are.
Oh, I deal with it.
This is who we are.
I deal with it every day, all day. Yeah. We're the biggest fish in the smallest pond, right? We're at the forefront. There are some other companies who are doing a very good job of it, just like we are. And even as a collective, if there's 3 of us or 5 of us, it's still not enough.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing about it is that there's not enough consumers for even 5 of us to provide to. So it's very much the big fish in the small pond mentality. And it's not necessarily about beating Harley Davidson. Like it's not possible. It just is what it is, but it's entertaining an idea of something different and doing something that most people are not doing, and then holding on to it, because when you ride the bike, it sells itself.
The one thing Indian can do that Harley can't is they can innovate in a way that Harley gets pushback for doing so. Mm-hmm. Indian coming out with a water-cooled motor is something that Harley wants to do, I imagine, but they can't do that as a fell swoop.
They had enough pushback with just the M8 on Harley. M8, people are like, it doesn't shake like my old twin cam. I heard that shit when the M8 came out.
This is one thing I was talking about with some Harley folks, is like your biggest enemy is also the place you invest the most of your marketing. YouTube is a place full of like the people that you're supporting as like, individual creators, which is always great for a big brand to do that, right? But it's also the source of all the negativity about your brand. Everything that your CEO does or doesn't do, there's 400 channels of some dude in his garage.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just like it has a spill of why the RR was stupid for them to make, or why the Softail Lowrider ST is such a dumb bike. We bring back the Fat Boy, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, these are like, Harley's damned if they do, damned if they don't. And what I'm getting is, the Indian doesn't have a stigma that they have to stick within. They don't have a box that they're not allowed to get out of. So they kind of, they can be a little more reckless, a little more, not reckless, but a little more loose, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, when you're that big of a brand, you're going to be open to the criticism from both sides, whether it's the best or the lowest. And in that sense, any exposure is going to be good exposure.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So, for us, it's on the Indian side of things. It's more about this new shift in ownership is more about like bigger opportunities, not being held back so much by what the company's been for the last 10 years, but looking towards the future and just staying, I guess, more optimistic than anything.
Yeah.
But we're going to be leaning into that instead of giving up on it, and see where it takes us.
I don't think it's a bad thing with the sell. I think if anything, it'll just, it's just the internet exacerbates those kind of things into something bad.
Well, I mean, at the same time, like private equity companies is a thing, and I feel like if they don't see the return of investment that they need to see, that we might be in trouble, So I think what it's going to do is it's going to push guys like me to go harder than I've ever gone.
Yeah.
To believe in the brand and believe in converting people, and just, everything that we do is about getting people on motorcycles, just going out to try it and then buying one. And then as soon as you do that, we got you covered. You're good. But we're just one company. So it's hard when in the Harley world, you got 30 or 50 companies that have your back. You know, people want variety. They don't just want the one company every time. And so I deal with that stigma all the time. A lot of people will refuse to support us because everyone supports us and they want to do the opposite. That's just how it goes. It's like, I'm not going to wear DC skate shoes. I want to buy Etnies because because Rob Dyrdek has DC shoes, you know, there's nothing you can do to change that.
Yeah.
So that's why what we try to do different from most of those companies is all the things we talked about tonight was like riding your motorcycles, getting out there, getting to know people, having experiences, not just being some company on the internet that's just selling you parts, you know, put a face to the brand. And, you know, Steve did it all the time when he was riding his Indian. It was, oh yeah, you're curious? Here, go ride it. Here's the key.
Yeah.
And send people out on it. Right. See what they think about it.
Go try it out. Like, I don't have smack to talk about it. It's another option for somebody.
Yeah.
You know, type thing. So it's like, if we went back to how my 2018 was when I bought it, and then, you know, the 2023 Challenger. So even if I went from a 2023 Harley Road Glide to a 2023 Challenger, like when I had it, you say stock for stock, I can't change shit. You got to ride the thing to Cali tomorrow. I probably would have jumped on a Challenger.
Yeah.
When they came out with the 24 Road Glide, I was like, all right, Harley stepped it up a little bit. Like, things changed, like the motor, you know, a little bit better, the interface with all that. And I said, all right, they're rivaling back, you know. So neither of them pay me, you know, so I can give you an honest opinion on it, you know. So it's like the new Harley is really good, but the Challenger doesn't suck, you know. Or, you know, the Chieftain, he let me ride the Chieftain. I rode the Forge bike, you know, for quite a few miles. They're great bikes.
Yeah.
I won't judge you for any one that you go on, you know, like whatever fits you and your riding style, like, let's go. You know, people, the biggest gripe with, you know, Challengers and Indians and all that, well, it's not as customizable. Well, here we're trying to make it so you can do the stuff that you want to do, the stuff that you want to change and all that, the stuff that makes it better, a little bit more suited to you. You know?
Well, that's probably why you're also seeing more Challengers come through here, because the aftermarket is growing, and that's a lot the part to what you've been doing. Mm-hmm. And it's giving people options to get something unique. I mean, I think American V-twins, period, is about self-expression. And for some people, that's some skull hand mirrors,
right?
You know, and for others, it's, you know, an all-out balls to the wall kind of build, you know.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like you need some form of aftermarket, but to have an aftermarket, you have to provide consistency with your products long enough to, and you can't be changing shit every year. Like, that's the other problem, is like people don't, on the outside looking in, if you change the bikes every year and you change massive parts and the way they work and they interface, you will never have an aftermarket, because the aftermarket cannot keep up with creating new designs every year. So the reason why Harley's so customizable is that I have parts that'll fit on my 82 and my 24.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I mean, that is literally opens the door of aftermarket, because you have an incentive to build something and make something, and your R&D doesn't, you know, it can be applied to so many models and so many things.
Yeah.
You know, I watched that happen in the sport bike world. You know, sport bikes were,
everything was changing just every year. What's the next?
It was up until 2006. It was very, like, a lot of the models, you know, a Hayabusa and a Gixxer 600 had a lot of the same components. You know what I mean? You could technically put a Busa motor in a 600 frame, I believe. I might be wrong on that. It's been a long time. But anyway, you could do a lot of shit like that. But in 2007, they started changing the suspension up like multiple times. And so the aftermarket company stopped making lowering links and all these different things they used to do these bikes, because it was like, man, this is, we have 1 year designs. Like that's not beneficial. That's why the 2006 Dyna is such a bastard year. You know, there's the 07 seat doesn't fit, the 05 seat doesn't fit. You know, it's like there's things about that bike that, or I think the 07 Bagger was a bastard year, or 08.
Oh, between 06 and 08 was a clusterfuck on the Harley Bagger.
Because they were going to 6-speed.
Yeah.
And a different, like,
5 gallon to 6 gallon.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of things that make it hard to make parts for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's like the 2025 Indian Chieftain came out, and basically from the tank back, like, that was a Challenger.
Yeah.
So everything that we figured out on a Challenger, you know, rear fender bags, you know, all that, feet controls, like all that stuff was, and then just, you know, basically the fairing changed. So like when we had to, you know, throw that one together for Daytona, like we already had our Challenger formula of like what we did, and, you know, a couple other little changes, but it was like a lot of that stuff just kind of coincided. But like you had the other Chieftain that had the air-cooled motor in it. Like that one had a different rear fender, a couple other things. Obviously it had a different frame, you know, so like those were that. So like when that one came out, we're like, hey, it's an all new model, but it already kind of had a little bit of aftermarket to it, because they basically formed a new model out of a different.
Think about the Harleys whenever they went from, you know, the old style bags to the Rushmore bags.
Yeah.
You know, having the lever instead of that old latch system that you could still technically put on the older bikes.
Don't fucking miss that latch system. So terrible.
That was the all-time high of everybody's bag list.
Yeah, dude. I lost so many hats on my old like 2001 Red Glide from the.
Well, I think it's good. I think the Challenger, the Indians, it's all like the competition is necessary.
And like I was just saying a couple minutes ago, like I feel like Harley had to step up their game because the Indian was good.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's this friendly competition across the board, you know, like.
I guess if anything, I'm sick of dudes on YouTube that are like rage baiters or fucking doomsday folks. It's like they try to like capitalize on anything negative about motorcycling, whether it is the Indian getting sold or Harley's new CEO or Harley doing a $130,000 bike or whatever it is. It's like, why are you making content to sow the seeds of like uncertainty and dissent and negativity to these brands? Like, do you want them to fail so that you can have YouTube views?
Yeah.
Because if they fail and you're helping that happen, for what? Like, dude, that CEO, the last CEO did a lot of great things for Harley. They really did. A lot of great bikes came out of that fucking regime, or if you want to call it.
Dude, there's so many sick bikes that came out, let's just say since 2017.
Yeah.
You know, like since 2017, like ST, the Lowrider S.
When has Harley ever been aligned with the culture?
Yeah.
This last time they were. Now, if you're 60 years old and you aren't into like the performance trend that's going, then I get you feel like misrepresented, right? But how the fuck is a brand supposed to like continue to evolve if they're only building bikes for one demographic and it's the one that's probably on their last bike?
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks to say that because those dudes should be stoked that we're trying to carry the torch, you know, like that we're out there trying to do the shit that they used to do. And instead they're just motherfucking us. You know, they're motherfucking the type of bikes that it's like they'd make fun of like when we put T-bars on these things.
Yeah.
You know,
back in the day, they were stoked when the Evo came out and they didn't have to deal with shovel heads anymore. And then nowadays they're like, oh shit, fucking MA came out. Like, fuck that thing. It's not like my old stuff anymore. But it's like, dude, you 25 years prior, you were, you know.
I guess what I would say about the YouTubers to wrap that segment up is like, man, it just go make your own content. Go out, if you're going to make a YouTube video and you're just going to sit there and like tap in, you're going to watch the S&P 500 to see how Harley's doing and just keep like, dude, where do you live? Show me the fucking rides you have or the cool taverns or bars or restaurants or food or
right.
Bring value to this instead of just negativity.
Like throughout my YouTube, and like I've had so many people have come up to me over the years and said, like, you're kind of a reason why I went and got a bike. Like, I watched the stuff that you did on it, you know, and all that. And like, they got, you know, stoked about it. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, you know, like just watching you go on trips, you know, people that were on their just, you know, soft tails with big old ape hangers, and they just kind of go do some bar hopping. Next thing you know, they're crossing state lines and they're, you know, I'm like, yeah, cool. Guess what? Colorado's sweet. California's cool. Like, even I haven't ridden there on the streets, but like,
cool.
Dude, it's like traveling around, like going up to Laconia Bike Week, you know, going to the Smoky Mountains, like, you know, people watching some videos and just out of complete jealousy that they're like, I want to experience this. Like, why the fuck is this guy going out and doing this when I can do that?
Yeah.
Like, I can go do what you were doing. Like, I feel like the most success comes from just making some people jealous. You know, be like, hey, I'm out there doing.
Maybe saying jealous is like the wrong word. You're showing people something that exists that they can obtain.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it's still
Like,
jealousy.
it takes sacrifice.
Jealousy is a negative word, so it seems like it's a negative.
It's always
thing.
influencer nowadays. It's like any way you put it, you know, just we've been out here, we've been doing fun shit on fucking motorcycles for years. You want to go do fun shit? Guess what? Take the step. Let's go. You want to do an Indian? You want to do a Harley? Don't care. You want to make your bike cool? We can help you make it happen. Like, what's your dream? You know, we can make all of it happen.
Yeah. Can I get a keep the fuck up?
KTFU.
Let's go. All right, you boys done?
I think we're good.
I'm good,
Us
man.
out.
That was a good podcast.
Yeah.
S. Chamberlin 5150. Oh, you're screaming speed and fab.
Did you turn us off?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Hey, that's Steve.
Steve Chamberlin.
S. Chamberlin 5150. He doesn't.
trying to do an
S15.
Oh, he doesn't make YouTube videos anymore. Check this dude out at the Forever Rad YouTube channel. He's a quitter. For real.
I'm on everyone else's YouTube.
For real.
You know, you watch.
You're like an
Halos,
Easter egg
I
cameo.
just like pop in, just there. Like, where the fuck's this guy been? I'm just like, I just do my own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. It's been fun. It's been good catching up, and you know, seeing the growth of this place it's always inspiring. Get more skateboards, man. They're everywhere.
Dude, there's at least 100 upstairs. He's gonna make like a whole nother row.
We're about to do a second. We're about to do a second row.
Yeah.
So I'm almost up to 500 now,
Yeah.
which I'm not afraid to admit. I'm an addict, but I don't use meth. So there's that.
There's
I have motorcycles and skateboards. So, yeah, man, lots of big shit coming up. We got a full ass shop. Stay tuned. Steve's killing it. I'm killing it. Springle's killing it. Springle left. See you, Springle.
He could have been on the podcast. I had another mic. I don't know.
That's fine.
He would have just giggled the whole time.
I was gonna say last time he was on a podcast and I just sat there and
We'll get Springle next
didn't
time.
have a mic.
We'll get him next time. Yeah,
You can't be like, I'll do a podcast with him tomorrow morning because he won't wake up before noon.
true.
Well, originally I was like, I want to do a podcast with you and y'all separately. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, man, dude, I drove 700 miles today.
You had a long day.
And then I woke up
day.
at 3 in the morning. I
Yep.
left at 3:20. I made it to Speed Dealers at 10 a.m. Did a 2-hour podcast, had lunch, hopped on the road. I spent half my middle of the day, and dude, I had a coffee this fucking big from Dunkin' Donuts before I got here.
Cheater.
Exactly. And then, dude, I'm just like,
It's a long ass day.
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to doing a podcast with my wife because like the whole like working with your spouse thing would have been cool to hear both sides.
yeah.
And we would have probably argued and screamed and like yelled at each other. People like that.
People like that.
I mean, you know, you've been
Like
working.
American Chopper or some shit.
Yeah.
Just
OCC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me started on OCC, brother.
Yeah.
Bro, I went down to their shop in Florida almost a year ago. It was like a $5,000 trip. Cost me a lot of money. They were like, oh, yeah, we're going to film this TV show. Cool. So I brought a Harley and an Indian. And now they're not even gonna show it. They're like creating a whole new TV show. Yeah, so I'm out $5,000.
Oh, that's gay.
Chopper shit. Anyways, hey, good times. Thanks for watching.
man.
We'll see you next time.